that the Navi players could actually get into our heads, or like every time we just saw them, we just got a multi-frag or something like that.
Navi had destroyed the opponents on their side of the bracket and came into the finals with Simple in fantastic shape.
They have enough time to rotate, they're not going to go for it. Here comes Regis, he's not going to get the spray on point, but Blade could. Through the smoke, he's trying to find a way to kill Simple, who simply will not fall. And now Blade to be pushing this one, and he's got the kill! Astralis are victorious!
After 1 year without a trophy, DreamHack Masters Marseille and Magus propelled Astralis to the stars.
Stay alert and look out for the DHL drop quiz on the ESL CSGO Twitch channel.
Okay. We don't aim, we just talk.
One down.
Take.
Down. Left.
Oh, he's under.
He's coming right.
Oh,
Okay, let's go. Let's try to kill Babsky.
Right shift.
In the middle wall.
Above.
Tack.
Both checkpoint.
Nice! Nice! He's one is left side, one is right side.
Chop right.
Shit.
And one right.
Wow, one
right.
is right, one is in the middle.
tagged. You haven't tagged anyone.
No.
You cannot lose that against Lipstick. Let's go.
Let's win this one.
Tack.
Take.
Both right, bro.
Above.
One tack.
Oopsie. Oi.
Nice try. No! Oh my god. GG, guys.
Viewers and fans should consider us an underdog because I'm not gonna lie, it has been tough. Even before when we had Device on the team, it was tough. But to lose your star player and the main AWPer on the team is not gonna help that issue that we had before. So it's some tough months, and it's about trying to rebuild the team.
Zonic's thoughts there, but before we get further into those, this is an update of the Group B upper bracket. So after this match, Astralis versus Complexity, we're going to see Big take on Heroic. And when we came into this tournament, we had some questions about Group B. We didn't know how spicy it was going to be, but it turns out it's a 3 times chili ramen instant noodle packet. I hope I got that description right, Blair. Is that kind of along the right lines?
You missed out on the curry, Frankie, but it's okay. I forgive you.
Thank you. Oh, how are you, by the way?
I'm doing great. Had my XXX spicy ramen curry, and I'm ready to go and watch some spicy Counter-Strike.
I think you're a psycho, but I'm very, very glad you're here. So
Thank you.
Talk about this matchup then, Astralis versus Complexity, because we didn't know what we were going to see from Astralis on Nuke yesterday against Extrasol, and actually it was pretty impressive. They made it look like a cakewalk, but Complexity probably going to put up more of a fight today. And one thing I really wanted to highlight is Magisk and Zipnix put in a great performance. It was actually Magisk's best map of the year so far. Blair, does that surprise you?
Not really. I kind of expected Magisk to get back to his old form. It just took a little bit of a while there. I don't want to read too much into the win they had yesterday, though. They obviously were coming in prepared. I'm more curious to see how they're going to be playing in this best of 3 series, because they're going to be playing against Complexity, who, according to recent form, they look really, really good. They have a pretty decent map pool as well. And everyone's just waiting to see how this new Astralis, how the CD side's going to be, how the T side's going to be. Device is irreplaceable. So the adaptation coming in from Zonic and his team is something that and I'm sure everyone is curious about.
Yeah, I think for them as well, you look at it now, Zonic pointed out best, you cannot understate how much Device meant for the team, not only the primary AWPer, but also the star player of the team, part of that core for like 8 years or something, it's impossible to fill his shoes, basically, right? You just need to go out, buy a new pair, and they had this old pair that was, in the closet for a while, wasn't really being used, decided to shine it, put it in. That's Babsky for you, and we'll see how it goes. They're playing with less pressure now as well, right? Mag is playing better. He was the guy who would pop off here and there as the rifler in some of their games, mostly the one with the most firepower, so to speak, right? Because Dupree, from an entry fragger role, couldn't really do as much. So we'll just see it. We are learning as well as the games are going on how exactly Astralis is approaching this post-device period.
Well, let's get schooled now, because Scrawny caught up with Dupree, and I really want to know what he had to say.
Here I am, joined by Dupree of Astralis, the newfound Auber in his fresh Danish role. Listen, man, this is a fresh event for you guys. Obviously, shocking news coming out of the Astralis camp with Device's departure, but an excellent first showing yesterday versus Extra Salt. We've seen Extra Salt kind of contend with some European rosters, and I know that there were doubters out there that thought maybe this new Astralis would have a rocky beginning, but you guys look really good. Just kind of reflecting back after the first day yesterday, is that same attitude, that same confidence going to boil over into this complexity matchup today?
I really hope so. It was a really good debut yesterday, and I was quite surprised that everyone seemed so calm and that the communication was just flowing pretty good and everyone was just pretty hyped. I don't know, I think we kind of wanted to prove something. I know that, not to take anything away from Extra Salt, but they've played really well the last couple of weeks and ever since coming to Europe. So just winning that game in the best of one, like it could be a crucial one, like losing that best of one, dropping your lower bracket, then I don't know, facing up against someone like Vitality today. Could be a rough one, but it just went smooth yesterday. Everything worked out. I think everyone wanted to prove that we could also play Counter-Strike without Device, and like I've gotten a new role, and some of the other guys in the team has gotten a new role, and everything has just changed up a little bit, and like we've just shaken things up a little bit. But so far it's been pretty good, and I think we've had some of the best practice in a long time in when we play practice games, and that has nothing to do with Device or anything. I just think it just motivates everyone in the team that now that we are without this superstar, and we have to make things work, and we have to always like try to find a solution. So it just feels great.
All right, man. Well, good luck out there on the server, and we'll see who comes out on top.
Thank you.
I'd be curious to know who else has been affected roles-wise by the departure of Device, but Dupree, he's really filled the shoes so far in the one map we've seen of Device, because Device was ranked top in rating, impact and ADR for Astralis before he left, and now Dupree is, as of yesterday's performance, Janko.
Yeah, and it's always going to be easier for him to step it up on the CT side than the T side, right? CT side, more simple. Dupree was the secondary opera on most maps. Anyway, T side is where it gets tricky a little bit. And yeah, we saw some moving around for him, mostly on Nuke in the one map. Curious to see how it will look on the other maps. Is there more moving around besides just, okay, Dupree, you're doing Device's job, and Babsky, you're doing what Dupree used to do for us before?
Well, let's talk about complexity, because we're running out of time. And since JKS joined, they vetoed Inferno, Vertigo, and Train. They're very opponent-dependent with their vetoes. And I'm wondering, do you think Blameless is thinking, we could probably abuse Astralis as we head into the veto today, Blair?
Yeah, I'm expecting to see something a little bit wild, right? Complexity sort of team who can be a little cheeky with the map vetoes. You usually don't see Train getting picked, and then they float Train, they baited. I think it was Heroic who picked Train against him quite a while back. Heroic, right? And then they beat them on 16-10 or something like that. So they're a team who have a very deep map pool. And if I'm Complexity, if I'm BlameF, that's exactly what I'm going to be flexing. Going to be picking a map maybe which it's going to be really hard to replace a Device. Now, Dupree is, of course, a very capable player. And here we go. Vertigo getting picked by Astralis. That is interesting.
Is that Complexity?
Yeah, Vertigo getting picked by Complexity's pick, yeah, which is like strange because it would be, you would say this is something that Astralis used to pick against them, but Complexity actually this year undefeated on the map, right? A bit of a lower tier of position, although they did beat in Pro League VP, who's a really good Vertigo team, and we see Astralis falling back, to the Astralis of old, going for that Inferno. It was always Inferno and Nuke, and now they get both, with Nuke being the decider.
Well, let's take a look at our EpexGG players to watch. You guys have picked out Config versus Magisk. I confess, I'm a little bit of a Config super fan.
Yeah, Config, especially lately against this tier 2 opponents, right, in the Flashpoint qualifier and everything, he's been lights out. He's been having like 30 kills every map, really dominating the opposition. So now I want to see him do it against Astralis as well, right? He was bullying those guys. Now he needs to do it for his team. They're going to need him to step up. And Magisk, on the other hand, he is the heavy hitter for Astralis. We saw him yesterday have a great game, and I think he can also do that. Now, you can tell from Dupree's interview, they're a little bit, you know, they have a case, they have a point to prove now. Our team wasn't all about device. Like, we can still play, we can still do damage. We're still a great team despite losing the star player.
Well, we're just about ready to get into this game now. So we're going to head over to our Glaive and BlameF of the casting booth. It's Sponge and Machine. I'll let you decide
right, well,
which one is which.
I'll be the big brawny one. You can be the smart one. I think they're both smart.
I think they're both pretty smart.
Both probably most decorated leaders from their region.
Are you about to be a dad?
No.
Me either.
Fingers crossed.
All right, well.
All good in the hood
All right.
there. Right,
Can you smell that?
What's that?
It smells like 3. That map pool, it really quite smells like 3 here. But we love a bit of Vertigo, Alex, and I can't wait to see these two teams clash on this map. I think Yanko's point just there about Astralis, something to prove that they're not just, that it wasn't just about device. That's very true.
I'm right there with you. I was speaking to Matthew as well, Maniac, and he used a great summary. He said, I think it's that champion's ego. You know, like it was the same thing I was talking about in our first game when we watched Astralis Extra Assault. I talked about the fact that now, in the same way people did back then, there is doubt in Astralis, and I do think that Glaive in particular thrives within that environment. When people don't expect you to win, don't expect you to be a dominant force, that is when they do seem to find that extra mojo.
Yeah. Well,
absence of device, losing your star AWPer, that's where the doubt is going to be sown. So let's see what they've got. I'm hyped to see Complexity back in the server as well. Like, this is one of those international rosters that it's just exciting to read the list of names. Config, Poison, BlameF, Major Winner Rush, and of course, the very finest jewel in the crown of Oceania. JKS, going to be looking to see him live up to that savage surname. Molly early into the sandbags. It looks like Zipex wants a fight, and he gets it what he desired. Headshots, in fact, 3 of them in quick succession. Astralis completely minced them. Bombs loose. Poor old Juzzy Bear's got 3 people pushing him with 7 HP. It's an impossible task, and he is overcome in due time.
Let's not have that catch on, because he will hate me.
Yeah, I'm sorry. That's the last time it would come out of my mouth.
Okay, Astralis off to a bit of a flyer here, and that's kind of what I want to see, because when you look at the 3 rifles I'm about to name, Magisk, Dupree, and Bubsky, they're all very similar in their explosive nature, right, and taking those fights, their individuality quite high. There's a lot of parts of this Astralis roster that are left over that can do a lot of damage. So let's see how they stack up against that star-studded Complexity you just listed off, who have forced more into this one.
Not forgetting Poison as well. Like, I mean, that's a name in itself. We were talking about, you know, the Bulgarians in Voivoda, now Fiend.
Yes, Scode over there.
He was
as well.
one that, you know, slipped the net after winning that WESG for whatever it was, nearly a milli.
2018.
Yeah.
Going back a couple years.
But it was enough to put himself on the map and to put that Complexity jersey on his chest. Let's get into it. Round 2, important one. Full investment from Complexity. They put all their pennies into this.
Well, they're out mid at least, so working with some room, and the Deagle leading the charge on the pick here. The MP9 of Bubsky could have been tested by Config, but they've done enough. They've secured the information they were looking for, and now they're going to continue their fact-finding mission towards this A bomb site. Poison using that smoke up and over the top, looking for CT aggression. Left over with 3 smokes, 2 flashes, and a Molotov. There's enough for an execute here, but will Astralis allow it?
This is the fight Zipex is waiting for. Very tight line. Lots of pressure. Good find. They want to take the contact at the same time. This is cool from Astralis. No chance to breathe, no chance to stabilize and trade, and now they fall out together. This death ball, grouping up, taking fights one after another. Oh, this is so suffocating. There's no room for these Deagles to work their magic.
And no respect on that ramp at all. They all just claw on in, fight together, and Astralis do what felt the same as Pistol. We're seeing this develop more and more, and it's something that we've spoken about because, look, we're obviously not playing Vertigo at the highest level, but you and I have spent a lot of time playing a lot of Vertigo, right? It's probably the only map that we really spend time on, especially when it first came into the map pool. And identifying that these type of fights, as awkward as they seem, because it's left eye peaks for the CTs, this is how you have to be, constantly jiggling and jostling, keeping control of short, keeping control of the top of that ramp. Those are the 2 most awkward parts for fights on either side of things. And in these 2 rounds, Astralis have kept this very, very clean. Only 2 kills, both of which have been given up to JKS. And now it will just be that one. Make it 2 Deagles. Config and Blame have those.
Early space taken by dupreeh. And they're on the way back. It seems he'd rather just drop the smoke and play within it. He didn't drop it. Now he's going to have to lose all that space. Good grief, they are holding W, and Rush caught off. The smoke blooms just in time, and the rest of the bullets arrive as well. That's the end of that. Neat and tidy. Just Glocks, a couple of Deagles onto their stars, but nothing really to report for Complexity.
And a clean one. So that's still 2 kills in 3 rounds. That's all Complexity been able to muster so far. And that means that all of these SMGs, Alex, get to be held onto, right? Magus, dupreeh, Bubsky, they all have MP9s. They can play up close and personal. They can go for an all-in, the bonus round as it's been dubbed, against these AKs of Complexity here. So Astralis have a chance to build even more of a bank, build even more of a case on this CT side early. We're seeing the gap smoke thrown out from spawn. Looks like a default spread here with Poison and his rifle over towards A.
Oh, taking a chance there. Poison over the smoke. Art-esque. I think teams are getting a bit more switched on in how to counteract that.
Yeah, just throwing in the speculative bullets, right? If you get slowed, there's more team members there. They can peek together. Left with not much room to work with here. Complexity being thrust back towards B, and Config, the man of the moment.
Yeah.
For this Complexity roster, needs to find a scalp or 2.
Well, he's gotten himself up. Unannounced. It's going to be like a fully processed blind spot. Bubsky to quad. 2 SMGs to defend this, and Config straight in. Good find. Shot in the backside. Bubsky can't find 2. JKS down to half, but Rush has provided the overwatch, and now the plant can't contest. No HE. A flash, though, for the swing, and Glaive does dink up Claim. Zipex has had a great start so far to Vertigo, but he's just a little too low to make that impact. Down goes Blame to the nade. Softened up JKS further as well.
This is doable. He has a smoke.
If he isolates this, oh, the jump catches him. Rush with the swing. And that will be Complexity's first by virtue of Config. Making that space over on B, even conceding that early frag.
Made an executive decision in the room, Alex. Hope it pays off for everybody here. But this was great work from Config, right? He needed that entry. That trade from JKS was great. There's a number disadvantage out the gates, and Complexity grabbed the first real rifle round of this. Double AWPs are out. Magus and Bubsky purchasing on into these. So not dupreeh.
No. Seems like this is definitely the intention of this Astralis A setup now. So like your third A swing player, you've got 1 sandbags, 1 short, and then whoever's under the thumb has a second component.
Yeah, he can be helped from either portion, right? And I think that's really important to be able to do. It's not easy to get control of that ramp with just 2 players at the start. See teams even sometimes sending 4 members over there. Is back towards the B lobby, and Blame's taken a big chunk of damage over towards A in the meanwhile, but JKS and Config had success over towards this area of the map last time. They're trying to do the same thing. So nades out just to soften anybody close, Molotovs to make sure that nobody's close in the cutout position, and Bubsky, he's overseeing things with the AWP on the default boxes from the site.
Magisk gonna get a rude awakening. 3, 4 players swinging on that flash, and he does do well to evade any of their hunt. No one's behind the sandbags, but flames are pulled out regardless. Zipex is holding a very active angle here. If Config's good, you have a slight advantage instead. Zipnix with a double. Magisk is the only one to fall for Astralis. It's Rush that's trying to rock the table. 3 in quick succession. Rush puts them straight back into contention. Poison's gone, Blame's low. dupreeh may have done enough to save him here, and yeah, Bubsky confirms it. Valiant attempt from Rush.
Yeah, almost made a round out of that one there.
From
Huge
nothing to a 2v2, but yeah, just the damage done. And look what's happened to Col. I mean, just to see it, the sheer absence of frags, it's costing them. Complexity only have the 1 round to report, and this is Zipnix just murdering Config and JKS. That's like the full finish, you know? That's supposed to be the 2 players you want left standing once the bomb's down.
That was great from Rush, all things considered, but not enough, and Complexity have to question this buy. Rush has enough for an AK. He's investing into one, actually drops it across to Config. So this is just going to be a hero AK round as nothing else really purchased on up. You can see over on that B stream, We have Team Spirit versus VP. These
God, that's going to be a long train game.
A very long train game.
Schmoly.
I hope Dust and Vince have really got a lot to say in the minute and 55 seconds.
Oh, and it's VP starting on the CT side, so if you get like an 8-7 half, strap in, folks. We'll check in with that.
That's an elimination game as well.
Oh, damn. Spirit VP, we're losing one of them on day 2.
Yeah. Only one more spot actually left within that group, eh? Na'Vi and Gambit have already secured their positions. Bubsky to be tested here. This is the AK of Config.
Nice, needed that. Shutting down the armored AK. Poison does have backup Kevlar should they juggle it back to him eventually. But Impact to be found first. And actually, wow, mantling up. dupreeh wants full info. JKS was hidden upon the flash and push. Poison is up short. He'd need a cracking 1D onto Magisk, who will be a very difficult headshot to hit. He can hit that crouch, he can hit that A key, and bam! Poison delivers. Zipnik's under a lot of scrutiny. Good molly to delay. Poison's up short. Bubsky, there's a blind spot. He's going to get swung on. What a shot from Poison! 3! He's taken Astralis to town. He wants more. Bubsky's head is there, and Poison's doing it all on his own. Nearly a stylish 5. But he'll take 4, he'll take the round. It's down to Blame F and JKS to convert, but nothing invested, just Desert Eagles. And he delivers 4 heads on a silver platter. Complexity, this is exactly what they needed. Takes it by force. Kit and a smoke for Glaive. He's gonna make him work for this.
Just picked up a molly too, very doable now.
Does he smoke bomb or short? Find out next week. Taking his time, sweet time. Fake, double swing, they'll start to spray. Glaive wants to wide swing on this, needs a second one immediately or jump on the bomb. It's an off angle, JKS will find it. And just about across the line, Poison pulls Complexity into a second.
Yeah, that's one way to announce your presence in the server. Before that, we haven't seen a single frag out of Poison, able to step up in a big way.
Let's see that one again.
That was great stuff, right? The fact that he just knew he had to keep being forced forward. He was buying space for his team. I think the kills came secondary. It all started with this one onto Magisk, and then from there, this second shot onto dupreeh was fantastic, recovering. Zipex flubbing a couple, and Bubsky. Head ripped off these shoulders there, and he looks so good for the 5th.
In another universe, dude, that is one hell of an ace. One of our first are on the mainstream, but yeah, denied. Going for the triple boost, and this is very, very potent as opposed to that Crane 2-man boost in terms of getting more vision, more info early. Blame will be vulnerable on his walk-up, and he's already been kept honest on short. So this is a great decision to make the most out of that M4. And down goes Blame in 3. Oh, no way! Config checks it. Magisk with a very stern response. Nice nade from Bubsky. He's actually kept the trades even, and now weapons have been recovered. Blame is on his own. And he found the opening frag. There's one short. One of the most vicious so far. High fragging performance from Zipex so far, and well, Rush has no smoke. Molly for the headshot box. dupreeh still B. I mean, this looks like Complexity's round all over.
Yeah, they're taking their time. No rush about this. Blame just inching forward. Zipex passive in the elevator room connector with the Deagle in hand. The bomb will be called. It's going down. The 40-second timer begins, but unless he hit that shot onto Blame, it was done and dusted. Now it is just dupreeh. And I'm sure he'd love to have that Deagle with the smoke into the next round as opposed to the very little they will be left with.
Highest rated player for Astralis so far, dupreeh. Done some incredible things over the course of his career with the Desert Eagle, but for now he will just stand like a statue hoping something is given his way. He'll take a gift if it's given, but certainly not demanding anything here in round 7.
All right, well, 1 round closer here, Complexity. 3 rounds to their name, 4 for Astralis.
Config checks, let's have a look. Left side of your screen to see how that boost was toppled.
Okay.
Ooh, just a quick glance. Perfect angle for it. He's got his flight paths ironed out.
Yeah, and I think the Config, as far as an entry fragger goes, you know, he can be an absolute animal. I think that's been backed up in the stats that he's been having lately. Obviously does some secondary AWPing on a map like this, the CT side. I think people have seen him get let off the leash. He can be a monster when Config is in form.
And he has been, hasn't he? I mean, we looked at the summary of his year. well over an average of 1.2. I mean, it's just a rating unlike many are capable of achieving, certainly at this level of competition. And while this was exactly what Complexity needed, Poison's Deagle converted now.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, a little bit of an uh-oh moment, because Zipex and his USB have converted off of the flashbang, and there's more there. Zipex is going to try and force the issue. If he gets config, oh, down to 25, he's vulnerable. One more bullet from Glaive. It's not enough, neither's the USP of Bubsky. They are surprisingly low. More damage is being inflicted.
Oof, get them up and bucket out, clean this mess up, because that looked very, very sketchy for Complexity for a few moments there.
It's like every button Rush press, you just heard that USB dink sound.
Ding, ding. Ooh, rough one there. I think if Megas can get his hands on this AK, he'll be happy with that, but he has a long walk to go. So let's go with him on his adventure.
Has he got a beard right now, or is he clean shaven?
I think he has a beard, doesn't he?
I don't know.
Wow, it's a mystery.
Well, I think the cheeks were a good indicator. Maybe he's rocking a goatee.
That's true. I don't know if Config will let his old teammate get this AK-47. No, he won't. There's some ancient history between the two of those. If you're not too familiar, they played together once upon a time.
Yeah, I mean, those were the rising stars of Denmark when Astralis were first rising to the occasion.
Yeah, I think it's crazy if you look at like some of the career arcs of these players, right? Just in CSGO alone, it's pretty wild scenes. And thinking while we're reflecting about this, teams in the last few years with Danish in-game leaders, there's so many of them at the tip of the tongue, right? You've obviously got Glaive and BlameF in the server right now, Carrigan, you know, we keep going down the list, MSL, Snappy, we got Cadian now over there for Heroic.
Yeah, it's a powerhouse of talent, isn't it?
It's crazy that while the rest of the world struggles with leaders, they have so many. But this is fast by Poison, and this is big by
he's
Poison.
Done it again. Look at this molly spread. He was playing quite literally with fire.
He's very proficient at this. I think, you know, as an AWPer, Poison is very handy on the rifles.
Look at the space he's made for Rush. 3 players panicked, staring at A.
It's a B-split, Dupree.
And yeah, Dupree, you can get the first, but you're going to get shot in the backside. This is perfect from Complexity. Poison's still on A. Bubsky, save or rotate, regardless, he's going to be hunted down. Zipex is moonwalking towards his position as well. Poison may be spotted, I think he is, yeah, so they're just going to hunt him down. And they will maintain.
Good info, they know where both are right now, so Blame can close the door, they have to fight ramp. Oh, not anymore. Nice shot from Bubsky. He's under so much pressure here, won't get anything else for his troubles, and still completely contained will be Zipex. Got Rush doing his job, staying with the bomb. Someone always has to stay with the bomb, guys, all right? Even if you think you've cleared everything perfectly, just leave someone in earshot. Just earshot, that's all you need. You do not want to have that thing diffused under your nose. That's 5 now for Complexity as they take the lead in this one. I think that Vertigo is not a terrible map for Astralis to find themselves on. Like, think about the AWPing presence on a map like this. It's not, you know, the end of the world if you don't have an AWPer.
So he was flashed, mollied, and still finds a safe haven for that first opening frag. And that was the reason mid was so open and the reason that split hurt so much. Great work from Poison. Config was there and in tow as well. And it has broken Astralis. They'll have to weather the Deagle partial. There is an M4 in the mix from Zipex. Of course, not having to invest, he did successfully save.
Nice defensive smokes here from Complexity. Just don't want the CTs to have that early look in. Gap smoke to contain the short ledge. Deep T smoke there operates in a bunch of different ways. Stops that Molotov, also allows you to creep up through their smoke. It's the second shield. Just posturing for a little bit of control here. Flashes out mid. Megas dropping down to that hidey hole sand bag position.
It's always good for one, that, it feels like.
I feel like we need to give that a name, you know? Like the whack-a-mole spot or something.
We can't call it sandbags.
No, because there's too many sandbags.
Yeah. Let us know. What do you call it with your friends? Tweet us at Sponge. Well, it was a slow crawl, and they have arrived at the top of round. So as soon as Zipex takes contact, the rest likely to fall. Swinging in now, Rush taking space as best he can, confirms there's more. Bubsky's there on the door of an elevator. Explosives will make their way down, and Complexity will make their way towards a 6th here.
This is looking very good from Complexity. I know that they've been under the scrutiny of the community as well in recent times. They had that whole rotating 5th man while Poison was out of action. Obviously had Obo depart them in the middle of last year, and it hasn't been smooth sailing for them since then. But this is looking very good against a Astralis who's also on the rebuild. So lots to learn, right? This is one of the things, I think one of the things with DreamHack Master Spring is there's so much, the new roster of Vitality, the new roster of Astralis, we're getting the likes of FaZe, Mouse, Complexity, the international teams. How are they settling in?
Yeah.
These are all like talking points. We know that Gambit are looking good. We know that Heroic are looking good, but everybody else is basically in question right now.
Yeah, there's a huge state of flux in Counter-Strike Global Offensive right now. I do think also Complexity and Astralis are two of the very best examples when it comes to they're fighting for more than just the result. This is for pride. This is to justify the salary, justify the amount of time you've spent in Europe. Everyone's got the same goal. And at this point, it does seem like Complexity are edging themselves ever closer to starting this very important series with a bang.
Inferno up next as well. I don't think that's going to be a walk in the park for Astralis by any means. I think it's actually going to be quite a difficult map. Complexity have been very fluid with their map pool in recent times. Obviously not getting the choice to pick Mirage today against Astralis. That's their go-to map.
Gifted coach there. That's Kita for Complexity. And Zonic for Astralis. Coach cams are out. Glaive has that look in his eye.
The headband technique there from Bubsky. Okay, well, Bubsky on the AWP. But again, so...
maybe that's the secret power.
Yeah, I think they would have a different AWPer in a lot of different maps. It might even just be positionally based, you know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%. Rush with no armor behind this AK.
Well, he does have 11 grand, so... we'll just say that's a misbuy.
Yeah.
These things happen.
It's fine.
He'll realize after he cops an aid like that.
Yeah, oh, I've taken nearly half health from that. In they go. Magis deals with the first. He's just having to stand and fight in such a horrible position. Blame eventually does beat him. They're swinging. Hard fight, good flash, good find. Bubsky as well on the AWP. Oh, and a good catch as well. Rush finding the head, but he's got no armor for the 1v2. Can he do it?
His teammates have all seen that now as well.
Scheisse, that's not great. Okay, let's see what you got, Rush. There we go.
Were you about to call him Rushley?
Yeah, I didn't know, did I? I didn't.
You know, every time I'm sure we say Rush's name while Rush is playing and Rush is observing, it must be such a fun experience for Rush. Now, which Rush I'm talking about,
I get really excited when we're casting Alex and everyone's talking about Alex, so...
A decent shutdown here from Astralis. The gaps weren't exploited in the same way, and you can see a lot through that one. All right, rifles back out. Both teams steady for this bite. What's the change up for Complexity?
Is that 3 mid, or am I just looking through the X-ray wrong? Bubsky's here for sure. Yeah, that's the B players instead.
Just wait out this early utility here from Astralis, right? They're doing the deep A ramp smoke. They're doing the B smoke aggressively as well. Dupree's been set up with an extra wave of utility, and they've had to, you know, help him out early because JKS and Config have been working the default here and pressuring this side of the map. He needs these extra nades to just slow this down. The first is Config tries to look around it, look over it, look for something.
The only fight Dupree could have taken, or can take, is this right here.
Real problems for Complexity now. They only have one smoke left over for any set piece they want to go for.
I wouldn't be surprised if they just accelerate B contact here.
Yeah, they have mollies for quad. They can molly the default box as well. These jiggles from Dupree, he does not know how close he is.
No smoke, so if they start coming in, Bubsky's going to arrive just in the nick of time with a smoke of his own and actually hit the shot as well. Great start. Looking good for Astralis. Fending on off at the initial push. It's JKS and Poison to chip in with something to compete. Bubsky down to 30. A bullet would finish him. He's full flash. They can't swing on to punish. Magis there in support. Smoke has bloomed. They want to push on that. Blame's got the bomb. He can't go down. He might just plant behind the box. And JKS has already met his bullet. 6-6. Astralis 2 together. Consecutive rounds does break Complexity down just a little bit. They're still whittling away at that giant bank they forged over the 5 round slew.
Yeah, that's just wild that there were so many smokes expended from Complexity earlier. They didn't have anything left to execute. With this was great timing. As the Molotovs are being released, Bubsky gets there just, right? He grabs this kill, even cops the flames to the face. But he was actually the key to them winning that round. If he doesn't get there in time, Dupree probably isolated. They're all looking at Bubsky in that. Maybe not even getting a kill there. So huge stuff from Bubsky. I think we have at least one more rifle round out of Complexity here. Their loss bonus starting to build, and JKS, he drops. Dupree finds success. The 4-on-5 as Glave's up close towards this smoke. This molly's going to land. He's going to hear this burning.
Yeah, Poison's got intent. Oh, he's got a gap. Zipex gone. Oh! Poison gets them both. He's doing it for Complexity. So much impact from the Yorpa with Deagles and AKs. Great start. Can they finish? 3-on-3, made 3v2. Bubsky seizes the advantage, and it's extended by Magisk. He wants to finish it right there and then. A little bit overzealous, perhaps, as he jumps into the crosshairs of Rush. A 1 versus 3 quickly cut down to a 1 versus 2. Now, Dupree, there's a timer on his presence here. Especially if he makes... Did he make?
I don't... There it is.
Yeah.
Actually sucked both of them back into more passive positions. Dupree now looking over towards the B-bomb site just in case.
Fake the steps, though, and going short. Bubsky looks to be positioning to post up on this short angle, so Rush now has to play a game of patience. The longer he waits, the more likely he is to catch out one of these divided CTs. Bubsky's still trained on short. There will be a moment where he starts to question that ramp fight. He's essentially safe for both of them at this point, though, and he's not actually holding the tight line, so Rush will not have contact.
Yeah, it's going to be a flick.
Oh, Rush. The fact he swapped to his nade might have been the death of him there.
If that was just peeking out with the AK, probably gets the kill, and then that could have been a one-on-one that's winnable. There was a bit of utility left on over there for Astralis on that retake, so not the end of the world, but maybe for Complexity here as they do take a timeout just to talk their options through. That was the opening from Dupree onto JKS, and Poison did his absolute best. 2 great kills.
Bubsky's really been hanging as the AWPer, by the way. I mean, I know none of these are particularly Hail Mary frags, nothing to be screaming about, but the fact that he's sitting at 16-8, he's definitely been providing all of the necessary components of a CT setup. Rotating into B, he's had damage on the A cross, keeping those 3v3s competitive. And talking of the B stream update, in the time it's taken us to finish our half, looks like these guys have played about 2 rounds.
Yeah, it's, well, going as we would expect over there, isn't it? This is a domestic matchup, ladies and gentlemen. 2 of the hottest teams in recent Counter-Strike history going toe-to-toe here.
Didn't quite take a look at the scoreboard. I wonder how my boy Sanji's doing.
Sanjini.
So JKS, he did lose out on his B defense, or his B aggression. Dude, oh, he gets it. Not a second. Close. Dupree down to 22, but JKS does get his revenge. He was the first to fall initially. In round 13, comes straight hot steaming into the 14th with an early headshot.
Would love to be able to dispatch a Dupree here, huh? 22 HP.
You wouldn't, would you, Bubsky? You wouldn't.
Well, they know that they want some info back here.
Yeah, but this is some liberties here.
Yeah, I feel like, you know, when teams don't know what to expect, you can go for a couple more of these risks because they're not part of your patterns. They're trying to sell this B play right here, and it's actually had a couple bite on in. The bomb's headed back towards A, and I think Astralis are out of position here.
Yeah. Megas going to have to do a lot. Great shot. Bombs loose and spotted. Problems now. Smoke will have to be deployed, as will the plant. The quicker they can get it down.
Back?
What? I guess config's called be clear, but how do they rotate safely?
They can't.
Dupree's here. He's been hearing the whole thing. They're checking it, but they're not going to check this corner, and Dupree, his mid-push, nets him the 8th. It's only config caught with the scroll wheel. That is Astralis edging further towards a 1/2.
And Bubsky again, right? Because he pushed, didn't that mean that Dupree could get into some of that action? So this is wild scenes right here. Astralis now with 8. They've won the half. Looking good, looking good. There's the trade onto JKS. Seems like they wanted to unleash the entry frag onto that B bomb site, but weren't ready for 2.
Yeah,
and this one
so
here, yeah.
That replay, just from Magisk's frag into Dupree's double, both of those players. You couldn't have one without the other.
All right, Hail Mary out mid. They're fast. Bubsky's flashed.
Oh, this looks tough. Complexity, they're throwing caution to the wind here, and looks like Magisk doesn't need any help.
Oh,
Config
TK.
shooting his teammates as well. Collateral damage, and it really hurts. Looks like 9 Just JKS and 8 points of health. It's finished off. Okay, Astralis hold the defensive lead, swapping sides, and we'll be right back. Just getting my headset back on in time. All right, well, we are all fresh, locked and loaded. Chad Burchill is joining me.
I'm attempting a new pose.
It is very avant-garde. I'm actually going to post this on the old Twitter sphere. It's my turn for some interactions. I need dopamine.
Well, we will get this one underway ASAP. We're just waiting on one more player to join the server. Meanwhile, we'll keep the pretty pitches flowing. Virtus Pro versus Team Spirit on that B stream, as you can all see. It's going pretty well over there. 9-4 in favor of VP, the CT side, D_train. Plenty more Counter-Strike to be played today across both streams. Still, one more after this one for the main stream.
Oh, it looks like VP did pull ahead here on Train. Interesting to see Team Spirit potentially fall. You know, this was one of the teams I was really excited to see blossom. They truly, you know, in their interviews as well as their results for a while towards the start of the year and the end of the last, were really looking to be a team that felt and believed that they could compete with the very best. Virtus Pro, they did have a wobble as well in their opening game. Virtus Pro did look a little flat when we saw them open up in the... who was their first game? Where is it? FaZe Clan, that's right. It was a 16-13 proper wobbler sent down to the lowers in the second round against Na'Vi. Astralis given the edge by our bookmakers. Complexity preparing themselves for the defense. Vertigo, the first map of our series. Loud up the ramp.
Very loud. It's just a bait. Trying to look for something.
It sounds like a bait. I don't know. And oh, backpack. Clave.
Bomb.
No more exploring for you. And a second gone as well. Zipex is the last victim on the plate. He's got so many targets. He just can't handle it. Complexity of taking full and firm grasp of the pistol. Locked out Bubsky. This one is done.
If dupreeh can flank here and get this first kill, it gets interesting, but he needs to make this frag.
Oh, he has. Double goosh into JKS's skull. If he finds Config with a quick tap. Oh dear, dupreeh.
Now we're on to something.
Yeah, he's had his cornflakes this morning. Bubsky's tucked in passive, letting his master work. 14-5 from dupreeh, and he's looking to catch up Bubsky's frag total at the moment. Both of these are the strongest hitters so far from the Astralis Vertigo.
Bubsky, yeah, you're right. Just living, allowing dupreeh to work. He is not in danger of dying whatsoever here. This is great work from Bubsky, knowing that as long as he keeps control of the pushes, they know likely where they're contained. And this jump peak from Poison, he's only on 11 HP. A stray bullet from Bubsky could be enough.
Oh, God, that was a moment chance, and he's drawn attention. dupreeh will start to wiggle. Ooh, and there he goes. Bubsky's gone. They know where dupreeh was last spotted. Great crosshair placement from dupreeh. Too many targets now. Too many. Oh! He's found another. One's low. Sandbags is a threat, and he's spotted him as well. Damn, dupreeh, constantly keeping us on the edge of our seat. Complexity just wiped the sweat off their brow. That was supposed to be a comfortable pistol.
Yeah, it started so well. Swarming the A ramp, the bomb getting dropped, looking very, very good. It even had a smoke and a molly for the follow-through, and it still comes down to a tight scenario here. This is how it all kicked on off. You can see, look how far up the ramp the bomb is dropped. At this point, as the CTs with like 1:30 on the clock, you're thinking to yourself, boys, the round's done. We've got this one in the absolute bag.
Well, it was Glaive's bag. I wonder if the model sticking his booty out there was the resulting death. AKs and a deagle. Or rather, deagles and an AK. That's how words work.
Charity from dupreeh here, so...
After a pistol round like that, he chucks all of those goodies onto Magic's back. So they're going to try and boost him up. Could be a frag.
Yeah, great angle here.
Quick, snappy one into Config as he transitions out. He's playing oh, look at that. That's the power of Config's off angle. Now, the AK goes down. Big plays from Config. Nearly converts into a second. But the damage has been inflicted. Look at that nasty little one-way they're working with on shore. And Poison's even going aggressive. Could get caught by a Zipex Deeg, but...
It's very, very lucky there. Poison, very, very lucky. Got away with murder on that ramp, and oh, Bubsky, JKS went looking for some info, and now the number advantage in favor of Astralis here. They can just pivot back towards A.
Don't stick around. Surely, Poison, he wants more.
I guess they want the info, right? If he can just continue to jiggle and stay alive, that's going to give them something to work with here, but they've evacuated the B bomb site, and that's where Astralis are heading back to. Rush pushing mid.
Yeah, Collar being very pushy. This is cool. At least should enable them to get some info. Don't you dare go down. Poison nearly did. Puts it into a 3v3. Complexity have completely abandoned the B site, and now Astralis are in. Bomb to go down. Glaive's healthy with that AK. They
Double
can't...
nades.
Oh, they can finish him. Bomb down just in time. Bubsky gets the digits in. And now he gets his digit on the trigger. First victim found with ease, takes the head off of Poison. Now Blame with a kit and a smoke. He just hoovered up a smoke, Chad. They're going to boost for it. Should be good in the hood, right?
Oh, it's a deep smoke. He might get away with this.
Weird plan. Spray there. Blame doesn't get a swing. Surely he can work this out. They're boosting.
He can just sit it. He can just sit it.
No time for this. No time for the hunt, Blame. He's found the head, but it's the round gone. It's a lot of damage to Astralis and Complexity. They concede another, 10-7.
Oh, that's a bad one to lose right there. That is a bad one to lose for Complexity. Remember, this is their map choice, and they had a chance to really just tie things back up.
Yeah, it's a CT pistol win. Bubsky with a big find in middle. After all of that intense battle on A, Glaive with a great little tap into Rush as well, but Astralis snatching this one away off the back of a hero AK.
What is Blame going to be able to do, right? He can drop a deagle across. He already has to config. This is real problems. And look, Bubsky, 18 kills to his name. I don't know if you guys have been keeping up with the Bubsky story, but ever since he joined Astralis, things have not been going great for the poor lad, right? He spent more time on the bench than he has playing. His ratings when he has played have been not great. Now he's getting the freedom because this team is completely rebuilding. You're seeing the individual ability of this kid, right? It hasn't been on display because he wasn't a clear replacement for anybody in the Astralis roster previously.
But also, just, you know, professionally, this is like a set of adversity that not many experienced players have had to undergo. Never mind an inexperienced newbie with so much promise. You know, there's a lot of mental hurdles this dude's had to overcome, and in a PR Ghibli world, you know?
That's true.
Like, he really has, I'm sure, had to grow up an awful lot very quickly under the Astralis organization and that contract signing.
All right, well, they know where the AK is right now.
Go on, Glaive. Ooh.
No one's looking.
Perfect timing. Doubles away. No, poison down to 35. He could try and fight with the scout.
Oh, there's the AK drop. Blame's lost that.
This does not bode well. Not bode well at all. More smokes have landed, and Confi, you can't want to put your head in that vice. He does, and somehow thrives, at least for the first. Zipex, however, quick on the Mac-10. At Astralis, you can't be running away.
It looks like they are. At least just chilling for a second here. They're in no rush to finish this round. Do not want to fall foul to any sneaky business. JKS here as well. The scout has been hurt again.
Could be a JKS moment.
Two of these players are low.
Yeah, precisely. And the smokes will fade. They have nothing in reserve. One from Magisk, maybe elevators. Drops it right back in front. That's the last of the util. And now, to contest that plant, they choose to let it go down.
Might just be the save now. Oh, not even the worth it really anymore. If they can hold on to this AK, sure, that's great. It was a partial investment here for the players on Complexity behind this saved AK, but now looks like JKS will be wanting to save. They are chasing the Mac-10 in the hands of Zipex. Noisy, bounding, leaping, jumping, hoping to find him on a corner, but JKS really doesn't want to let go of this. Zipex will find him mid-air, gets the AK. Has to be happy with that one because the threats going into what will be round number 19 are going to be minimal for Complexity here. This is Glaive's opening, almost good for the second as well under poison. Put him lower out the gate, and then as soon as Dupree takes down Blame without getting a kill, it's really difficult for Complexity to do a lot. Frustration being shown from Blame. Doesn't want to let go of this Zipex. Get back underway. It will just be 1P250 for Rush. Everybody else on the USP. With that one because the threat's going into...
Your Complexity. You know you've got a game against Astralis in the morning. You're thinking about the veto. Why do you pick Vertigo?
Because you can't pick Mirage. That's where you'd normally go, right? So that's immediately gone, right?
Because that's the permaban of Astralis.
Yeah, and then you're thinking, okay, well, Device isn't there. What's a map that maybe Device is pretty proficient on with the AWP? Train. But Complexity have been, you know, moving away from Train. Okay. So you're probably thinking, maybe not Train.
So determined, you would say, you'd argue more by their depth than Astralis's potential weakness.
Well, the thing is, right now, even though we knew what the roster was going to be coming into this event, we'd never seen what it looks like. Yeah. It's fresh, right? And a big part of Complexity's game is counter-stratting.
Oh, I see. There's a beautiful framing you've done there. It's like you're good at your job or something.
So you can't really counter-strat what you don't know. You can look at the tendencies of what they were doing previously, but you don't know that Bubsky's going to be AWPing.
Keita hasn't handed you a PDF that says, when you see this flash, go B.
Exactly, right? So they don't have that same level of detail to look into now. But then if you're thinking, what have Astralis been comfortable on lately? Well, they've been picking a bit of dust too. Now, sure, that is probably heavily influenced by some good performance of Device on the AWP, especially CT sides, right? So you're thinking to yourself, do we go towards a dust too? But Astralis have been strong there. Can they still be strong without? There's a lot of questions, right? So if you're Complexity, it's not easy. You know, Nuke. You're like, okay, yeah, let's pick Nuke. It's used to be an Astralis strong map.
And picking Nuke as well.
And they just won it yesterday. You're running out of maps at this point, right? You don't want to pick Inferno. It's not necessarily top of Complexity's map pool.
Game time. Fast B. Magisk wants to go. Immediately catching a nade, and look at them, softened up. That's 3 members of Astralis within that one-shot M4 headshot range. So a big blow to throw early. Can they convert? Complexity are in dire need of an 8th here.
Here comes the boost. They're setting up for it. What's the go?
Oh dear, cancel that. No interest from Astralis, but at least it's going to keep the B players on their toes. Rush is tested in mid here. Bubsky's been very sharp. He's got a full set of util on him, full kit of it. Would hate to lose it all.
Same angle that Config was playing, right?
Yeah, completely invisible to the boost. Oh, trajectory of the nade will be good info for Rush. Safe from the nade as well. Poison's hearing action. Tries to steady his aim, but he goes down to the wallbang. That's a colossal loss. Losing your AWPer, but Short's now wide open for business as well. Blame's the only player on A right now. Gagging to buy some time. 40 seconds though, Chad.
Still hard to tell where Astralis want to end. I think they'll just gear up for an AXQ with what they have left over. They're just, okay, Rush has just been absolutely destroyed. Just the spam, simple as that. And if I'm Complexity now, I gamble stack. And if they don't come to my bomb site, I save. This is looking good for 13.
You're telling me Magic's blind wallbang has just won them around?
Yeah, because now they're heading over towards B with all their forces, and it's just Dupree containing this. He might even do more than contain. Spots one pushing, bomb goes down. At this point, well, they know where Complexity are, and they can't get out.
Taste of his own medicine there, losing to that Z-axis, just his toes of Config visible.
This is a very comfy round for Astralis, and easy stuff, right? That poison kill, just waiting, the spam kill, you're not expecting that to come in. You're kind of just being annoying.
I was surprised by how willing he was to continue to hold that line after watching them cross to the tarpaulin.
He's a brave boy, old Poison.
He certainly is. There's a few AWPers that I really can never point a finger at for when they go for the repeat, because of how many times they have successfully gone for the repeat at a world-class level.
It's curious that they are holding onto the AWP here. I want to see how they intend to deploy it on this T side, who's going to be wielding it. It could be any of them. This is the thing, right? It literally could be any of them.
Yeah.
It's not even a joke.
I do love the comparison you've made, though. I mean, like, wow, that's the loss of poison we were just talking about, and this is the wallbang that's just forced the save. Bang. Oh, as they throw the nade, he's got a wallbang for the lineup.
Yikes.
Great catch. Great shot. Frustrating death, for sure. 13 rounds to Complexity 7. It's their map pick, but the point I was trying to make was that you've highlighted it so damn well. Complexity's got a lot of comfort when they have anti-strategies deployed, or at least a firm understanding of what they're going up against, but no one has a firm understanding of what they're going up against with this new Astralis, and that's an interesting interaction. It does look like this VP Spirit interaction has gone a lot quicker than anticipated, but...
Oh, hold on now.
And it's a big but.
It's the VPT side.
It's a VPT side, so get ready, folks.
Put a load of laundry on. I'm sure it'll be done by the time this map's finished. Oh, dear. All right, well.
How many times will Dust and Vince go, but there's only 10 seconds?
Yeah. Someone start that bingo card.
Oh, damn. Very early aggression in middle. Bubsky can't quite believe his luck. He's been handed one of the rifles. There's only 3 in play. Now 2. Boosting up early. JKS got a lot to do here.
Oh, he's flubbed it.
Gets it done.
Just converts that one. Looked very dicey.
Peek over this. Oh, no, he can't. Cancel that. Good molly. His options are so nullified. Just has to sit and wait at this point. That's probably enough. Astralis have got no clear intent just yet.
There's a pair of toes.
Just the T-side AWPer.
Yeah, I don't think I'll be rejiggling that one. And at this point, it will just come down to how are Complexity going to hedge their bets? Do they want to stack over towards A? Do they want to stack over towards B? Because being in this 4v4, sure, it looks good, but the weapons aren't there. Poison needs to find a kill here.
Good find from Zipex. Blame once more. Oh, and look at the position Bubsky's managed to get into.
Hard clear for JKS. Not a clear at all.
Not a clear at all. Well, that'll go be a B plant and a 14th rush, however, resistant.
They're not going to go for this, are they?
Not with his health.
I guess the loss bonus is there to go for a round like this.
You'd probably want a kit.
Probably need to be gifted a kill as well, just with Rush's HP in this situation. So the best option is to hold on to what they have, but maybe they want to fight for a few rounds here. Backpedaling with the X-ray, we can see, okay, the call has finally been made, not gifted. Too many options here. And this is Astralis onto 14. This is looking great. Bubsky 22, Zipex 18, 17 for Dupree, and then Glaive and Megas down the bottom with 11 each.
It is funny. So just from the eye test, Chad, do you think that all of the, other than Bubsky, who we weren't watching, do you think the other 4 names are playing better in an individual standard?
The
fact you haven't immediately answered is an answer in itself.
I think it's difficult to say. I think
we've seen 2 maps of them so far.
Yeah, it's very difficult to say. I think I want to see how they fare against. Let's just throw Gambit out there. I want to see how they fare against Gambit.
Come on, man. I mean, they lost Device yesterday.
I know it's still early days, but I think when you have to consider this Astralis roster, if they are world-class players without Device there, which I do think they are, then it's not out of the realms of possibility for them to at least individually look good. But this is looking good.
Ooh, Blame, Bloodshed, good find. Rush is pushing aggressive as well. Cole want to bring the fight to Astralis. And Majesty side AWP works well, but so does the push from Rush. He knows he's going to get sprayed. He seems to have managed to evade. The nade is a fail. Nice incendiary, but dupreeh first surging forward on it. Pop flash, Blame sticking around. He could be caught here up on the sandbags, just mantling around the corner in time.
dupreeh's got him.
Yeah?
They're dead.
On the timing. No, held. Nice shot from dupreeh. And he's not quite done, just popping heads like cherry tomatoes. Nice shot from Config. Zorp, he will need a second. The Flames do completely deny any sort of wallbang he wanted to go for. Those double flame spread. Look at the damage they did.
Oh, he
still can't touch them. That's so brutal from Astralis. And now the bomb can go down, right? Right, Config's going to be the bait. Tries to take a bit of space. JKS trades. Here we go. A 1v1 and a big one. To fend off 15. He heard Magis drop off from the flashbang. He pieces it together. Starts to work his magic. Going for the unannounced short flank. Magisk isn't ready for it yet. He will have a timer on this. JKS, good play. And he gets the frag. Saves the day. That is going to be 8 for Complexity. Fending off the potential for a whole lot of map points.
And looks happy with himself as ever there, JKS, after picking up a must-win 1-on-2. The smile from ear to ear, it says it all. He cannot believe it. He's doing it for the team, even secures them that AWP. Here's the whoopsie of the nade. Oops. Just a little bit too low there, but you can tell when the A-ramp entry fragger is going to get kills like this when he catches the timing. When they're top of crane and nobody is even thinking, have they slipped? Yeah, they slipped past.
Right.
You know that something is going to fall apart right there. And yes, the bomb is yes. All right. Fast mid.
Oh God, they both jumped it. Oh, and he's missed his shot. Config's booked. Mac 10 versus AWP, and the Mac 10 is the one to prevail. Poison's got more to do.
A lot more. Good nade. That's really going to help them here. Bobsky did a lot with that Mac 10 in terms of space, and it's drawn a massive rotation across the map, but there's plenty of time for Complexity to get back and lock on down that A bomb site. Rush is swinging out towards sandbags late. There are mollies to deal with his position, and well, he does have a smoke as well, but it is just his to work with. Flash off the wall. Ramp to be cleared. And Astralis, they play this T side. You know, they're very back and forth between the bomb sites.
It's interesting. It looks like that flash has the intent and the lineup that we've seen Glaive and now Magisk use. I think it pops enough to just force that short line that an AWP can be holding blind. Just the perfect drop trajectory so it can kind of thread the needle of that scaff line.
Yeah, it's so many positions that you can be getting peek from that top ramp, so hard to flash it all.
dupreeh is human after all as he looks away from his screen when he gets flashed.
This is very difficult for JKS. Rush is going to call this clear right now, but it looks like it's going to be a split on B.
Yeah, and Glaive already taking another head. They're going to start to pincer. Poison's responsible for this side of the map, and he already finds one if he can get them both. One slipped the net, though. He's lost his teammate, JKS. He has to take initiative and takes a shot. Does fall, but he's done damage. 1v1. They know where he is. Magis to plant. He's got 15 seconds to do so and just pushing in on the nade.
Huge.
Great play from Rush. First JKS, now Rush stepping up for the clutch.
That was massive from Poison as well. I almost thought he got the double there, just defending, having to pivot left, right, and center. Complexity, stay alive. I think that is the key, that they are just barely staying alive. If these rounds continue like this, Astralis will get the 2 that they need to get across the line. It needs to get cleaner than this.
Yeah, I mean, this is a fingertip grip they have right now. They're holding on for dear life. You can see he tries to synchronize his landing with the nade explosion.
Oh, just slowed as well there.
Well, great play. I mean, what an equalizing factor. When it's AKV FAMAS as well, the nade just perfect. Oh, good stuff. Okay, well, as Chad has highlighted, it definitely leans Astralis' way, right? Matter of time and all that.
Yeah, and I feel with another rifle round, if they keep it down to one-on-ones or even just 2 players alive for Complexity at the tail end of these rounds, eventually they will be broken again. Emissions, FAMASes, not a huge amount of utility. But the double orbs, can that be the difference maker again? I know the clutches have had to come through, but the orbs have had to play a factor in some of these scenarios.
I did find it really interesting that that double molly towards the heaven position completely stops any sort of orb swing from the upper deck as well, just because mollies are broken. But super interesting, and especially with the double molly, you can use that to guarantee the peak. Okay, no one's flashed. Desperate spray. Glaive's the one that comes away a little better. Will be caught by the AWP bullet, though. That's a big find from Poison. He wants to stand his ground. They got 2 AWPs for this. If that bomb goes down, consider it 15. Oh, no. Okay. Poison and Config both fire off a shot. It's chaos. But Poison's still hitting shots. And he might even make it a 4. Look at him go. Poison absolutely destroys him.
From the top rope. Look at that, look at that. All right, double digits for Complexity now, and a bit of pep in their step as well. And the way that that round was won, it got dicey, and it was only 2 players alive yet again. But finally, I think they've kept that bank of Astralis where it needs to be.
He was doing it all, wasn't he?
Look at this.
To go for this immediately on the bolt, brave as all hell. Dupree knew exactly where you were. Bubsky's sentence was probably not even finished by the time Poison jumps out for the repeat.
All right, wow, Astralis, they're being tested here, and Glaive's purchased into an AK. So they're rocking at least 1 AK-47 right now. Zipex could also buy on in if they really wanted. Here's the scores on the doors for you. You can see how the spree of rounds is now starting to shift for Complexity, but they need to get 4 more on the trot to tie things up. We'll need to go all 30 if Complexity want to win this in regulation. And it is a partial investment here from Astralis. They've left enough money in the bank balance with where the loss bonus is at right now for them to afford to buy in round number 26. But let's see how far they can push these 2 AKs. On board with Glaive here. Entering middle very fast. Already jumped across. Oh, and the B push. Config's not in middle right now. They know that. They're going to punish this guy.
Oh, dear. If Blame doesn't get a Zipex, it's a problem. A big problem. Config does go down. 3-on-3, Zipex does tag him up, he knows Blame's there. This is all chaos. Bubsky's even pushing into the site. Blame, gap, knife out at the moment. Bye, see you later. Bombs down, looks like 15 unless Poison can somehow deny that. Looking for another one, another hero moment. He's tagged 1, and nearly the second. Poison tries to be the hero, but JKS is the one that's called upon.
Felt like the pistol was in his mouth right there. How does that not convert for Poison?
Thinking it through. Kit close to the site. He has the smoke if he could just retrieve it.
They have to reload.
Yeah, yeah. Maybe knife misses. Not to be. Oh, over the shoulder. What? Half a second in it.
Jeez.
Half a second separating Complexity from an 11th and Astralis from 15. All right, so Astralis are just 1 away now. 5 opportunities to close this door, and Complexity, this one's going to hurt the most. It's going to be a very broken buy. We'll see it from Poison's POV. Look at this pistol opportunity. Hits it, hits the second, and yeah, right next to him.
Bubsky again. Like, it was the gap that he pipped. It was the kill that he got onto Blame that facilitated that one. So more good stuff from Bubsky, and now, well, it's all in from Complexity here, which could be the last round.
Config playing with fire, aggression mid. At least confirms nothing to be concerned about. B as well, presence, nades are thrown. Config to back him up, some util to be thrown. Just walking up, look at Dupree. And only half. Now JKS finishes what his teammates started, needs to do more. Astralis, they're forcing the fights. Magis converts with ease, and now Complexity are just 3 frags, make it 2. Away from falling on their map pick here. It's for the upper bracket. Astralis are testing them. And it's just a UMP and a scout. The hard work is done.
And Astralis are making them sweat here in a moment like this. Smoke towards the front of the B bomb site. It's going to leave a gap. A big gap. He's found the AK, has Blame. But he's also found his demise, and poor Poison. What are you going to do?
Absolutely nothing. Astralis 1-0 up, looking determined to prove something here and to maintain that stead in the upper bracket. We'll return, break it down, and be back with your second map. Don't go too far.
Do you think?
You're my best friend, best friend. You're my best friend, best friend. You're my best friend, best friend. Everything's better when we are together. This is like fire, never been higher than I've ever been. Like I'm not sober.
Dad, what's that sound?
I think it's the BFG, son.
Oh, the big friendly giant? I've read about that at school and...
Yeah, friendly. That's what F stands for. Benjamin Blame F Bremer was not always a giant. He was born a baby in June of 1997. And then, about 3 weeks later, he was a tall, handsome, shredded man with tree trunks for arms and an inordinate amount of skill.
Trying to get in position. They haven't tapped just yet. They're playing the time. And BlameF immediately taking the fight, gets the one kill. He gets away as well. 1v1 now. Coldzera sticking the defuse. BlameF jumping around the corner of the smoke up. He's not going to get it. Coldzera. Oh!
Rumor has it that every time he kills a bad guy, he absorbs their muscles into his bustling arms. And the real BFG is BlameF's guns, both figuratively and literally. Handling big guns requires even bigger guns, and the Puggernaut forged those skills in the fires of UKCS. Lending a hand to Great Britain is the closest he's ever come to friendly. Ever since then, he's been on a killing spree. The BFG is not your typical hero. He is not the hero complexity need, but he's the hero they deserve right now. Don't miss the action thriller of the year, The BFG, a story of big guns and even bigger guns.
Do you think you know everything about CSGO? Then stay alert and look out for the DHL drop quiz on the ESL CSGO Twitch channel. Because as soon as the question is asked during the stream, the clock starts ticking. You will have 60 seconds to type your answer in the chat using this format. And keep in mind, speed is important at DHL. So the faster you answer correctly, the more points you get. Keep track of how well you are performing on the leaderboard. Will you manage to make it to the top and win one of these amazing prizes?
Welcome back to DreamHack Masters Spring. And it was a bit of a masterclass on Vertigo from Astralis. The roles might have changed, but you couldn't really tell because it looked like a well-drilled CT side and T side from the team. Blair, I'm guessing you were also impressed.
Yeah, for sure. I guess everyone was a little surprised with Dupree not picking up the AWP. You know, he likes playing the B-bomb side, the anchor role. He played it again over here, doing a fantastic job. He was in the midst of all the action. For me, it was, of course, Bubsky and Majisk with the dual op setup they had going initially, right? And Bubsky really popping off, man. I mean, this guy, 28 kills, 10 multi-kill rounds, going 4-0 in entries. And also, speaking of entries, Astralis winning 18 out of the, I think it was 26 rounds in total.
Well, hold that thought right now, Blair. Blair, because we need to actually turn the tables on the audience, because it's time for the very first DHL drop of the DreamHack Masters Spring. There are prizes to be won this week and next weekend, so keep your eyes on the screen right now, because I'm going to ask you a key question, and I need you to take a note of A, B, C, or D. Which one is the right answer, do you think? The question is, Cold Zero was once dubbed the following by our friend Vince, who's over on the B stream at the moment. Was it A, the man, the myth, the master? B, the man, the myth, the monster? C, the man, the myth, the beast? Or D, the man, the myth, the legend? And now you know why I am not a commentator. So if you want to put your answer in Twitch chat right now, it is !DHL drop space and then the letter that you think is the right answer.
Cold Zero in a 1-on-4. There's the first. Oh, he gets a third as well. Surely he's not going to. Oh, Cold Zero, the man, the myth, the. What a play!
I promise that was not an expletive. Vince is the most gentlemanly person I have worked with in Counter-Strike. So, was it A, B, C, or D? Pop !DHL drop space A, B, C, or D, and I will be revealing the answer shortly. And Complexity, their answer to Astralis, it seemed like in that map, guys, was Poison. Poison tried to get it done. He was creating so much space on the T sides and also had some really flashy plays with the AWP on the CT side too, Yanko.
Yeah, T-side with the Deagle like this round, really, this is the round that gave life to Complexity. It was looking kind of grim, as if Astralis was running away with it, one of their lockdown CT sides, but this really brought Complexity back to life. They managed to string some rounds together. Astralis managed to recover, and then we saw this already in the extra sold game, right? Complexity wins the second pistol, but Astralis wins the force buy, and that point is just very difficult for them to get back into it. Once you force back and lose, your economy is pretty much ruined. They were lucky to win these couple of rounds. At the very end, they were all clutches, they were all really close rounds. I thought if Config managed to get that kill with the P250, or if JKS got that smoke defuse, I thought like Complexity is coming back for sure, because it's so many frustrating rounds in a row that it would even put a team like Astralis on tilt.
Well, let's bring it back to Bubsky. Blair, you mentioned he was particularly impressive on this one, and in the pre-game interview, Dupree said that roles had changed, but were you suspecting that he'd be picking up the AWP?
I honestly had no particular expectations coming in, right? I think everyone in this team can pretty much pick up the AWP. We can even have Glaive picking up the AWP. But the way they're mixing things up, you look at the way they played Nuke, and then you look at this map of Vertigo, it's so very different, right? The roles have switched up definitely. Bobsky and Magisk, you know, doing roles which they're not very used to. And Bobsky, though, he really popped off here. And what is very impressive for me is not him just playing passively, holding a bomb side, rotating from A to B, but no, he's going for plays, he's going for fights, taking fight at mids, and also the T side as well, he popped off. And overall, yeah, it's not just the Bobsky show, everyone showed up. I feel like, I think it was Machine who asked Sponge whether the individuals on Astralis look good right now. And I gotta answer him, yes, everyone looks pretty solid at the moment, including Bobsky, obviously.
It's really refreshing to watch. I'm really excited by the Astralis we're seeing right now, but what are we thinking we're gonna see on Inferno, Yanko?
Honestly, I think we're going to see more of the same. I think Astralis, you know, got a boost of confidence now, 2 wins already, especially now winning their opponent's map pick. They're going to play more loose, and they also have the advantage of, you know, the opponent just don't know how they're going to come out. You know, who's going to be, just saw 2 different maps, two different guys picking up the primary op role, right? So there's not a lot of information for Complexity to go on, and we know they're one of those teams that like to prepare extensively and use that against their opponents. You just want to see them. We pointed out Config as well in the pre-game. Didn't have a bad game, but didn't have, you know, a lights out game like we've seen him have recently against some lower tier opposition. So if he can maybe step up, you know, a little bit in the fragging department, get a couple of those crucial rounds for his team, maybe that can get Complexity over the hump.
Blair, would you like to check in with the B stream and what happened in our CIS derby?
I'm sure it's still going on. There we go, as expected. This game does seem like it's coming to an end. VP had a fantastic first half over there, and this is a map pick coming into Spirit, so a little bit of a stumble here for Spirit, I feel like, losing on this map pick. And coming up next, I'm not too sure which map it is, though.
Shall I have a look?
Inferno.
Inferno.
It's Inferno.
Inferno, there we go.
Oh, there you go. We can have
which is their best map. You know, they lost it only like a couple of times this year, so I would definitely expect them, you know, to be the big favorite to close it out 2-0 and eliminate Team Spirit.
And you're happy about that?
Yes, I am thrilled, as long as we keep them on the B stream, Frankie.
And speaking of
Why do you
B,
hate
I'm
them?
trying to be smooth, but this segue is not going to work. The answer to the DHL drop question that I posed at the start of this analysis segment was coldzera was once dubbed the following by Vince, and the answer was not B, but C, the Beast. I don't know if we've got a clip of that again. I actually kind of want to hear it without Vince censored. Although I enjoyed the original. Okay, right, I'm going to let that one live on as Vince dropping a rude word. And I'm going to go watch that right now because we've got a short break. But when we come back, we're going to be heading to our second map of this series. Astralis versus Complexity. We're taking it to Inferno.
You ready? Huh? Hey, he's a good boy, huh? You ready? Huh?
Start your esports career now at play.eslgaming.com.
Do you own a piece of esports? Get your merch at shop.eslgaming.com. Latest edition of the Epic's trading cards available now.
Hi, my name is Sue Lee. My handle is Smix. I think it's important for these initiatives to happen. Empathy really, really goes a long way, and it always means so much to us, and I think that's where initiatives like this really help. Good luck, have fun.
Ooh, I love a little bit of gold. A beautiful color for a stunning gun. The licks of gold combining wonderfully with the backdrop of the black paint. This treasure is as much a piece of jewelry as it is a dangerous weapon. Nothing says cool like neutralizing your enemies silently. Just like James Bond would do it. And with the golden silencer, you can look like a rapper and sound like a ghost. Gold is back in this summer.
We're ready for... Ooh, hello, this is me. We're not used to being on camera. This is my
we were
leg.
just talking about that. We're getting a lot more camera time here, which is interesting. Now, people at home, before we get into this game, something important you need to know. When you click, it's the sound of your finger hitting your palm, not when the two...
You knew that.
Yeah, but I was just telling people at home.
Well, now you knew that.
Maybe they didn't know.
I was referring to them. Of course. Hi, Complexity Astralis is what we're doing. Second map, second series, second day.
Important game.
Important game, absolutely. Yeah, this is for the playoffs. Whether or not it's quarterfinals and semi-finals determined by the head-to-head against the winners a little later on. Let's get this started. App's presence. They want to pop off this. Util's flying through the sky, and so is Bubsky. Straight strafe onto the hay bales. Blame denies the first, and response from Dupree is a potential double. That dance from Blame doesn't last too long. Glaive's found 2 in the apartments, and we do have a 2 versus 3. Kit and Smoke on JKS. He's going to be arriving to the party late from long, re-smoked off.
Blame has to win a fight, but they know where Blame is. JKS was meant to come in as that second wave. Unfortunately, now for him, he is the one who has to do all the hard work before Blame can make a move. Coming back around short, JKS still over towards long. Time the problem.
Yeah, he needs this first click to be on Glaive's head, but he's jiggling it so well. Ugh, more util. This is perfect from Astralis. There shouldn't be a way in. JKS provides a momentary distraction. But 2 different targets on either end. He does adjust nicely, but it's Glaive who outdoes the other opposition leader. 4 frags for Glaive, 3 for Blame. It's Astralis to pull across.
Felt like we were about to get political there for a second. The opposition leader now.
Yeah, exactly.
Take the floor. So Complexity here will be force buying in. But this is great from Glaive, and it's crazy to see how the game is evolving, right? Like, if you guys have been watching Counter-Strike in recent times, some of the most common CT pistols that you will see is the CT's running straight down mid, the CT's having one player jump across boiler for second mid info, or the CT's maybe playing 3 top banana. Here, they've just gone through second mid, all out apartments, into that pit, trying to avoid as much of the CT aggression as they can, and it worked on out.
If Astralis can make, like, a super strong case...
For not having an AWPer?
Yeah, for
They're
not
doing what
needing
Liquid
one.
did.
Yeah, precisely.
That's the thing, right? This T side of Inferno, you don't need an AWPer.
No.
It might actually be a blessing that you don't have an AWPer. Now, Device, obviously very proficient with the rifles. He's not your traditional every day of the week AWPer, but on the T side, you can be very restricted on a map like this with the AWP because utility usage is on point from all of the top teams. Right now, we are seeing the 3-2 split of the CT forces. 3 players burrowed in towards the apartments and site. 2 towards B. No information at all. They need to just hit their shots.
They would love to see Poison bait a shot.
Oh, this could be perfect,
Yeah.
Alex.
Rush, pulling the pin, maintain short control.
This could be
perfect. Config. He's actually got to stay in. There's the first, and now it does go for 1 for 1. Mad is yet to commit. Poison keeping him at bay. There is an AK in play, but not in the apartment.
Oh, that smoke's nice for him.
Yeah, he can peek over the top of that and hands out another haircut. 2, in fact, as Poison sends him packing with the Deagle once again. Looking to equalize, and Dupree gets info, does get the headshot in response. The rotate up mid, Blame and JKS, the B players. Just across into the site with the bomb retrieved, but they are so hot on his heels. He's just not ready for this.
Or is he sticking it?
Hello, and double recovery for Blame and JKS respectively. That is the dream for Complexity.
That was a great round, and that setup on that short side, normally you're not wanting to flood out of apartments. There's a place close towards those pistols right there. But another moment where you're seeing the meta is more focused on smoking bottom of banana and top mid, that might have been a weakness. Not to be the case. Config going for the headshots with the Deagle close range as opposed to the 2 to the belly. Strikes, but it's really Poison over the top of their own smoke, punishing Astralis. JKS with the final frag, and a nice round to win. Astralis will be bouncing back with a buy of their own.
Poison peeking. Very brave. Oh. How does he not go down to that? It must have been through the corner of the wall.
Yeah.
The only way that makes sense.
23 health, so he's on notice for the next minute 30. JKS is being pushed back top banana. Blame's even rotating on over. So Astralis have done a lot within the first 30 to 40 seconds of this round. Bomb being scooped up T-stairs by Dupree. Now there's 2 smokes and a flash. It could be as simple as smoke, CT, smoke, coffins, flash and go. And once again, it is just JKS and he's lost so much space. He's in trouble.
Oh, the counter flash. He's lost the sight.
They're playing retake. This is by choice from Complexity.
Bomb to be planted.
very losable right now for Cole. That AWP, 23 HP on the retake, 1 defuse kit, light util, not looking good.
This is potentially a huge loss of resources. And Magic's already taken 1 head. JKS does need to find multiple. Pushing in now, confirmation of Emo. 1 pool, 1 banana. Nice find again. Config is saving them here. Bubsky's visible on the pool position, but still gets 1, and that is a successful retake. Very much down to the wire, though.
Yeah,
Astralis.
Need to find his AWP, too. Get the AWP, get the AWP. Where's the AWP? Okay. Oh, almost got very prickly there for a second. I wasn't sure they were going to quite get it. Able to save it, able to get it across the line in complexity. That was a round that it felt like they almost gave it away, right? They opened the door towards the B bomb site, and as I mentioned, it was by choice. JKS could have stood and fought, but there was nobody close, so he would have gone down losing an AK. Zipex has actually brought on in with a MAC-10 here, Alex.
Yeah. Is that... Yeah, it's just enough that he could afford.
Straight up banana, maybe?
Maybe wants to just find an opening and get that bomb down, yeah. Knife out, through the flames, back turn, JKS! He's lost his life, Blame's the one to stand around, but they've lost another. Double kill on Banana, there's weapons to be recovered at the bare minimum, and they're surging down middle as well, so they'll get this rotate pretty damn quick. M4 recovered, smokes for the cross, they can actually get the bomb down here. We'll have to relocate. And they want a double fight? Yeah, Magis confirms the rotate's in. Oh, and Config's looking sharp, won't be ready for the next one. And so Complexity snatch it away. Well recovered. They stabilize. But Astralis, with a little, make a lot happen. They do force Complexity into a defensive stance.
Yeah, and some rebuys here as well. So just with a very, very light purchase there again, Astralis really testing Complexity here. And that may be worrying signs as we start to get into the gun rounds. Config with a quick reaction there on the second. And Rush to put a bow on it here as we get away with the Complexity 3-man top banana B lean. Rush and Config are tasked with holding A on their lonesome.
Been holding on to this flash for a long time and they get nothing off the back of it other than, of course, regaining control of top banana. Bubsky was looking for a catch on the way back and good late nades. Magisk and Bubsky down to around half, 72 in fact to be specific.
It's going to be a B play here. They're going to scoop that bomb back up from T stairs.
Yeah, well, Call of Lean 3 towards the A side of the map, so it will just be down to Blame initially. Alongside the ride is JKS. Bomb's now scooped up. Here they come. Bubsky, oh, he was ahead of the flash, or rather the smoke. Enables Blame to find one early, and now JKS has stepped up as well. One on an elevated position. He can't seem to control the spray, and now only Blame. Bomb will be planted courtesy of Zipex. Bubsky's tucked into Nubox as well. Their positions are so good unless this wallbang lands. Yeah, not to be. They have a man advantage for the retake though, Chad.
And lots of kits, flashes to facilitate their peaks as well. Astralis are in trouble. Maybe they need to be a bit more proactive with this.
They got nothing. Just the AKs in their hands. The Kevlar on their body. 3 pushing in. They're actually going to boost for this. Blame. If he goes down, Zipex can provide some help, and he has fallen. Poison around the corner as well. Zipex needs 1, maybe even 2. He gets them both. Astralis saved by the bell, saved by Zipex and Glaive. 2 kills apiece. They take down the Complexity retake. And look what it's done to their finances.
Yeah, it's crazy to see that fall apart in that fashion, right? It felt like they had everything. The bodies were there was flashes. I'm really not quite sure. I guess it's the spacing here, right? Rush is just running straight out into his death. You know, close spacing, wanting to trade and unable to do so. Yikes. All right, well, Complexity will be down for an economical.
You are the weakest link. Goodbye.
Oh, map 2. All right, they've made it over there onto map 2. That's going to be Inferno now. All right, well, this one could actually play out slower than Train, guys, but your Kinder's pretty sick, so keep an eye on him.
He certainly is. Jame making the sacrifice. And of course, you get Degster on a CZ armor. Oh, it's a performance that Degster's been managing to match every single time he seems to step into the server for the boys of Team Spirit. Full 1 level up ever since his arrival into Team Spirit's quarters. Let's see if they can take it to 3 over on the B stream. But we are here to see if Complexity can do the same. They're up against Astralis. It's not a pretty CT complexion, I'll be honest. It's Deagles, it's armor, and it's practically a full investment for the majority, down to 300 for Blame and Rush, respectively. A little extra in the bank for some of them. Good nade damage, that'll do. Glaive's down to half.
It's crazy how good the utility usage has been, right? Obviously, it hasn't blown them out of the server here, but they've been chipping away and then still losing rounds on the B site, which is not ideal.
Well, this is threatening. JKS has a pop for the peak, but would love to hold on to that.
Yeah, and they need to, right? There's still a minute 10 left on the clock, so if they could disparage with bullets and presence alone, that would be much better than lobbing out the remaining utility that they have left.
This feels mean from Astralis. Another full BX. They're going to force Complexity to be super paranoid every time they disappear from mid.
Yeah, Blame's always cheating over, right? JKS has been left on this site alone in a lot of rounds here, and now he's under a lot of trouble.
That smoke, it's going to be disrespected. JKS is trying to play around it.
Oh, he gets away.
Wow, he'll take that any day of the week.
He should probably continue to get away, I think. This should just be a save right now. You want to... Complexity really want to give us a crack? Oh!
Config finds one head. Dupree got caught a little bit as well. Nade onto the default spot. Bomb will be going down momentarily. But you said save. There's no kit.
Next round's an eco anyway, right?
Next round's an eco. Why not have another shot from a fresh start? I mean, they have to leave the site. It's going to be hard to resist not wanting to contain Astralis on the exit.
Oh, they're still jostling here. They want to fight.
And it's an AWP from Dupree that can't believe his luck, and down goes Complexity. All of their Kevlar, all of their weaponry ripped from their hands.
That feels like one of those situations where the kind of decision to go in there, if that was a 4-on-4 in the gun round in the same way, they probably wouldn't go for it, right? It's around now they have to go into a full eco. Or maybe not full, but close enough. And Vegas from the back of side, good stuff from him. And a bit of a smile on Dupree's face just there, knowing they'll be up against these lighter pistols here. 2 USPs, P250, 2 Deagles, and what should be the 4th round for Astralis here, unless something goes very, very wrong. Glaive, already 10 seconds into the round, has top banana control, and little does he know, dancing between their mollies, they've already got control of that B bomb site. Everybody from Complexity, poised, top mid, boiler room, ready and raring to fight. They're going to be in the wrong place.
How's your short-term memory, Chad?
Terrible.
Okay.
What do you want to ask?
I was just wondering if we've seen Astralis hit A more than once.
The pistol round?
That was all I can think of.
And then the second round where Complexity won with the Deagles, they also had
poison over the smoke. Okay.
Yes.
So since then, it has been exclusively a one-sided map. Again into B. This time I've gone the anti-eco. Couldn't have worked out any better and couldn't be any less fun for Complexity, because right now you're just sitting there with P250s, retaking against full rifles. Knowing that you want to die, you probably love to get a kill, but you're peeking into an AWP with a sidearm. No fun for Rush. Nice fun for Poison, as he actually does take Dupree down. No chance of a retrieval, though, when you've got some 4 Danes foaming at the mouth. He does actually land a dink with that P250 and scavenges away a Deagle through the flame. Would love one on the hunt. Not to be.
Well, at least the guns can come back out now, and one of the little problems I see here is the fact that Blame, he only had 4.6 and Rush only has 4.7. To get utility, they have to do exactly that, buy the FAMAS. Rush has gone lighter on util, means he won't have a molly. Everybody else does, though, so maybe they can make this work, and there's even a kit for Poison. We're lacking that CT side at AWP. Astralis are using the AWP on Dupree on that T side, which is very curious to see. I was talking about the fact you don't even really need an AWP on the T side of Inferno.
Ooh, it looks different. Different call. Going to be seeing some action in the apartments early. Blame F and JKS looking to get a deep banana smoke and go for some control of banana this time as well. Banana control utility seems good. The spread does bring Magis down to 50. Short molly forces them back into the site.
Huge gap for Glaive. Look at all this space.
Yeah, and Config's not even looking. He's just tucked in on Graveyard. Sees him, right? His head's just poking up above it.
Yeah, I think for a long time there.
Finally gets found out.
I guess maybe you just want to get closer to the site, Alex, all right?
Uh-huh, mm-hmm.
Well, this is a safe call for Complexity.
Brutal. Brutal call. I mean, like, they've just changed it up. They've been so punishing on B. You can see there was a clear lean from Complexity in order just to take banana control early, dropping deep nades, pushing up, taking space. And it was Glaive that found the gap, left wide open on long side.
Yeah, with that because they were going for more of the banana aggression, I think Astralis were gambling on the fact that when you do that, traditionally you have 3 players towards top B. There's a couple of weaknesses in that environment, and, well, one was exploited, being the arch side. Huge shot from Dupree there. And every day of the week, Glaive's winning that fight. Bullets in the back. It's not clean, but it's the kill. Oh, will go off. 5th round for Astralis here.
Zipex perfectly calculates it. Yeah, you smug boy.
Happy with that
he
one,
had 19 HP, he loses 18. Nerd.
Where are we taking a little look at the scores on the doors? Because Glaive has 9, Megas has 8, 7 for Dupree, 4 for Zip, and 2 for Bubsky. So it's not like the frags are all coming from one player here. It's everybody contributing when they need to for Astralis in this first 8 rounds. And as we set our sights on round number 9, it's a bit hodgepodge. We've got pistols for the likes of Config and Poison, those saved weapons across for Blame, Rush, and JKS. But they don't have control of anywhere on the map, right? And I don't see how they're going to take it with low util. You can't really fight for the banana control.
You hadn't accounted for the Config Deagle power. That's the issue.
Well, I thought we were all done on that bonanza. Astralis don't even really want anything to do with banana right now.
No, in fact, the Poison P250 doesn't seem like the perfect weapon for this job. Config has audibly heard Glaive's retreat of banana. It forces down a flash. Oh my god, 3 of them! Completely blind. Everyone holds a spray. Unfortunately for Poison, they did maintain that head height. Bubsky catches Blame over the smoke. Rush is all alone on his island. And Zipex will find him. Config, yeah, he's quick. They're going around the world.
I thought he was going to come up short there. I think the death in sight, that if that death, you know, didn't come in and Config was coming up short, there would have been a chance, but they were mulling his position. They were aware of it. Looked like there would have been maybe a little bit of action to be had in round number 9, but nope. Saving the guns again. Config and JKS this time.
Not been much fun for Complexity.
This is the thing, right? I understand Blame because he's the in-game leader of the team, and as the in-game leader, you tend to be rotating around a little bit more than everybody else. But the B bomb site has been left with just JKS there on a few occasions. Now, if Astralis going to keep playing at this pace, where they're just executing and then they have 4 or 5 members pretty much in your face, you almost have to just stay in the 2-3 split, right? It doesn't have to be at the start of the round, but late round, you kind of just have to sit and wait and hope you can defend. You want to gamble, you want to hedge your bets, you know, you want to rotate over and help your teammates out, but by doing so, if you keep leaving gaps and weaknesses, that's where the problems are really going to start to spiral. And that is what we are seeing in front of us right here. Because we were talking about, yeah, the prevalence for the B-bomb site. Okay, well, then they go for the banana control. Guess what? They're going A. Astralis are 1 step ahead right now.
Could have gone really bad if they missed out in that full flashbang dance onto Poison's push. Could have been something special there. But well played, good utility usage, but even better from the Danes. Rush has got a tick every time he's like mad at the game. He takes off an ear cup. It's really interesting.
Yeah.
Like I've seen it when he's dejected.
He wants to walk away.
He wants his ears to breathe. Like he wants to take his headset off, perhaps. But we all have one. Ready to get into our 10th round of our second map, second series. It does seem like Astralis have a firm grasp of Inferno right now. Complexity yet to show up in a large way. We've seen 5 rounds in consecutive fashion from Astralis. All 3 of Complexities off the back of that second round force. Yo, Dupree, we see a T-side AWP. It's out, and it's in Dupper's hands.
Yeah, just it's so interesting to see them trying to apply and make this work. And, well, with that AWP watching short, Bubsky's walked up. This is so strange. A minute 30. This isn't the pace of Counter-Strike we're used to.
Yeah, and you just need this rush. Oh, the headshots keep coming. There's only one more on the site. Blame, got to do it all. Does do the first 2, but bomb will be planted. Zipex and Dupree with the space on the site. Magisk is still banana. Like, JKS is thinking about leaving B while his teammate walks straight on into the missed shot from Dupree.
Save again.
Yeah,
right?
it has to be.
It has to be. You have no idea what's on the other
Can we just
side.
talk about what they've done there, though? They have taken that short fight as early as you possibly could have.
Yeah, and they just walked up.
Like, that's not an execute. That's not a page of the strat book. That's go kill.
Yeah, and look at where the X's are on the radar, right? They are so deep. Graveyard and Pit, like they were in passive angles. That's kind of what they're playing for. They're not trying to deny mid control. They're trying to stop sight, and you can just see the corpses littering the site. They both just got absolutely obliterated.
Rush was having his first look, by the way.
Yeah.
His first little, there could be a head, and immediately was met by lead. Let's see
30.
this from Bubsky. Look at that. That was his first peak. 1 minute 29.
But it's just that's not what you're used to. Like
Nope.
that's a lovely little pace change, right? It's just that's a contact play. That right there is the perfect example of a contact play. What came in first? Headshots, nothing else.
Yeah.
7-3.
No chance to rotate, no time to have your teammates in the right place.
Yeah, and they'll be counting their lucky stars. They got so much space. Poison back over towards A now. 3 towards top banana. Damage done to Bubsky.
Super deep smoke on banana from the, is it the CTs? Yeah, okay. Defensive smoke then instead.
Okay, well, this time Blame and JKS are both playing site side. So they're doing what we were talking about, making sure they fortify that bomb site. They were. Blame F rotating around, and it could just be back towards banana now. It seems too simple from Astralis, but simple seems to be working. All right, well,
Dupree,
threatening.
He's been hanging out in this weird spot. Poison staring at him, and as he releases the nade, he confirms Dupree's suspicions as to the location on short. Still doesn't want to give him up.
He's lurking with the AWP, and they're walking into B.
Yeah.
What is happening?
This is a new brand of Astralis Counter-Strike. Look at Blame, he's still got a smoke in his hand, and Blame just contacts in. Glaver's walked straight into the site. Blame was unprepared and now goes swinging towards the one side of the map. Poor old JKS has got 3 players to contend with. Does very well to find a head, but the round again feels lost. How do you retake? The smoke arrives. They just contact into the site. Blame still had a bloody smoke in his hand.
They're getting dismantled right now, Complexity. I said before they were 1 step behind after the foray of B hits, and then they were trying to recover. Then they went for that B control. Now they're multiple steps behind because they're not even sure what the pace of the game is going to be now. Right? What are we dealing with? Because
I've never seen Astralis play like this.
I've never seen an AWPer get left in boiler room as the lurk while the rest of his teammates are walking into B.
Yeah.
He's in boiler room with
But he wasn't even being loud about it.
No.
That was a lurk. That was a full, a confirmed lurk play.
I don't know what the plan was off the back of that, or if there was a plan, this could just be Glaive just mid-round calling, right? Let's go out, we'll take some territory, or he's even, well, maybe not even mid-round. Some of the calls have just been out the gates.
Yeah,
like
I think
what they get away with.
Should they convert this, I think we'd be, not doing ourselves an injustice if we didn't talk about the Inferno calls. If we get a winner's interview, just someone asking about where these calls were coming from and whether or not this was on the fly. Yeah, Blaine can't believe it.
Yeah.
I mean, the sheer disbelief on his face. This is not someone that often displays his emotions as apparently as that.
Yeah, because right now there's not a single answer, and we were perplexed the other day. I don't know who it was who took 4 timeouts in the first half, but here,
Furia.
Yeah, 3 have been taken here in the first half. So rinsing through these right now, and look, there's a lot on the line because if you win this best of 3 right now, you secure yourself a spot in the playoffs, right? You're already there. You're one more game in this group. It's only for either semifinals or the quarterfinals. And at the pace this is going, Astralis are looking great for that. And what that could set us up with, if Heroic win their match later today, Astralis versus Heroic as that decider matchup for the semis or the quarters. So that one there sounds juicy to me. Gambit Na'Vi on one side, Heroic Astralis on the other.
The best of their regions.
Sign me up.
Yeah. Yeah, Prince versus the Kings in both respects.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Okay, what do you got for us, Complexity? Because right now you need to make some adjustments, and the adjustments are finding the frags. There's one for JKS. More bullets through the smoke. Not going to find any more damage. But a number advantage here, and finally, Complexity. They're not the ones being dealt dud hands.
Got to dig their teeth into this one and dig their heels into the side. They're going to be boosting one up. Second oranges, Blame is tucked in.
I think if they still just go for a B execute here, they can get a 4-on-2 on that B bomb site, right? Because Complexity now have to stay still. They can't keep hedging and gambling and rotating around because of these compact plays.
Oh, they're so smart. So what they've just pulled all of JKS and Blame's defensive utility out. JKS has got a single flashbang, Blame only working with the incendiary. Now they go top mid. They pull out enough utility to keep the feet planted of these 3. Could be the commitment, we'll find out. 45 seconds. Don't forget, a man disadvantage. The death ball has been established. All 4 of the Astralis players walking into Poison's AWP. He's looked away. Peeks in. There goes Glaive. Big find. Looking to relocate. Magisk, though, taking that long side. Poison, oh, he's doing it all for them, left and right. Every hook connects. Now it's just time for the good night. dupreeh, Magisk, Molly will force Poison into the open, and dupreeh will collect the first. There's more to be found. Behind the box, close to be cleared. Nice shot from dupreeh. God damn, that deagle. He could do another. Jumping down, though, from the box saves the day as Complexity's 4th is acquired through chaos and bloodshed.
Yeah, a bit of initiative there as well, right? Poison hitting the shot onto Glaive was great, but then going and taking another fight on that short side, you're not expecting that one to come through. And it helped that they found that opening kill towards the top of Banana there as well. So everything going right for them. Through the smoke, JKS taking down Bubsky. And this shot here was lovely from Poison with the follow through. So yeah, just pivoting around, keeping very active, making sure he's a nuisance, did exactly that. Still got sketchy, but Config saves the day. Of course, jumping. Just really opening that crosshair up.
I started getting nervous dupreeh was about to do something magical, so I'm kind of glad he made it as sketchy as possible for dupreeh's limited deagle bullets.
Well, Zonic's smiling, so that's probably not a good sign for the Complexity fans. Both teams with almost eidetic buys here. AK's around Glaive's AWP, and Poison still with his big green. So yeah, the surprise sound in my voice is bang on, because now it is Glaive AWPing.
Yeah.
The unknown entity.
I don't think Blame's accounted for the Glaive T-side AWP.
Maybe it's more like, lol, device, you think we need an AWP, but we could all do it.
Yeah, it's the easiest gun in the game, remember?
Yeah. We could all AWP, bro. We were doing it on hard mode for you.
You just had the easy gun. Bubsky has just taken their easy gun out of the equation. Config's dropped to weird one way. My conversation is irrelevant. The round is over.
Yeah, it is. It has to be another save. And it was another one of those quick 1 minute 30 explodes.
I mean, yeah, completely unplugged from that one. Config falls, Poison the first to fall. And just like that, 2 headshot strategy.
They've done this 3 times, right? It was twice with the more contacty style, and then there was the time where they pipped the gap when they worked out it was a 3-man top Banana B lean, right? And you had Glaive swing around, killing Config's head who was sticking out of Graveyard. But I'm not sure if there's a tell that they've identified for this, like if they're aware that Complexity can go for more of the B leans, because they've been able to punish this A-bomb site a lot, and they've also been able to punish the B-bomb site a lot, leaving JKS alone, right? So Complexity is screwed. I'm not going to lie. I don't. The only thing that you can do in this juncture of the game.
Oh my God, they're not going to save anything. Poor old Rush, desperately clutching hold to his M4, and he's lost it as well.
That's brutal.
This is so punishing. Glaive got 2 frags without AWP, by the way.
Of course he did, and he's given it back to dupreeh. So here's what you can do if you are Complexity, is if you have any aggressive maneuvers that aren't just push down Banana, right? Any you
have to look at the screen before you start selling this one.
Yeah. Okay, well, double AWPs.
That's another panic button. You can hit that one as well.
Yeah, and this one here works as well, right? This one here is at least going to give them a little bit more of an option to take some fights. Let's see if Astralis allow it.
Go on, Juzzy. Not to be. In fact, it's lethal. Bubsky takes his head off. It's not even a punish. It could be an open sight. Blame does take initiative. He can't afford to let them set up behind that smoke. Burning. Magis does go down to half. That's unideal. This util implies a push. What are they up to?
Glaive's going in.
Big gap. They want to maybe walk through this.
Works in his favor here. They just have to wait out that molly. They can still go on this.
Yeah, but through the smoke is Poison. He's trying his luck. That gap to be exploited.
Sorry,
but Glaive,
what?
I don't understand. How does he keep finding these headshots? He's very sharp. Had a bit of a fall off of individual form, did Glaive, but back on the horse. And a flash for the new box push. Go on, Blame. Oh, well, that was easier than it looks. Zipex, however, in a position to try and stop the leader. It will all be down to Zipex, looking to pull up the first clutch of Inferno. Bomb is under Config right now. And that smoke will be fading shortly. Rush. Not ready. Looking good for Zipex. The 1v3 now 1v1. It's a duel. Mano el mano. And he holds the line well. Config just a little better. 30 points of health. 1 bullet separating Zipex from the 1v3. Keeps Complexity honest. Final round of our first half here. Brutality for the international roster. They haven't been able to get anything strung together.
Yeah, it's really been rough out there. Just with these explosive plays from Astralis, it's been hard to contain at the best of times.
They'll take 9-6.
Yeah, even when they win a round, it's just one man standing. So that means we have an MP9 and a UMP for Complexity going into round number 15 to defend against a full buy Astralis. Here's that aggression.
Giving it a go. Straight down. And no one seems to be prepared for this. Just jiggling for the info, actually. But Bubsky's back turn tucks in time, and they react so quickly. Blame only the one. Eats his teammates' flashes, and now kind of locked in this mid push. Zipex looking for it, finds it, maybe even another onto Poison. Deadly. Needs to survive. It's a 2v4, hold the line. Poison's in so much trouble, needs a fight, finds it with a quick flick. Repeak, Magisk is ready. Orb v AK and the headshots found, now only a UMP. This looks like 10. Nothing that JKS can do. And there it is, Astralis are just 6 rounds away from securing a playoff spot at DreamHack Masters Spring without Device.
La. We win this one. Come on.
Well, the motivational song didn't quite get them across the line in the first half. It is 5 to Complexity's CT side, and Astralis accruing a full 10 with a very dominant and completely, what's the word? Non-standard T approach.
Yeah, and I really just like the conviction in a lot of their rounds, right? It wasn't fluffy CS, it was get stuck in, get a couple of nice headshots, and, well, really just kick off the pistol round in the same way. Glaive immediately onto JKS, pushes for more, finds himself what could be a second.
Yeah, he's not going to find much more either, but the nade will. Good gracious, that's a lot of damage.
Oh, they're the guys with the nades as well.
That really hurt. That'll leave a mark. Early smoke from Zipex.
Well, they've left Magisk here, though, towards Coffins, and Well, they're going in.
Yeah, they'll play retake. They'll have to. Config's already pushed up towards the palm.
Zipek's aware of this.
Yeah, Magic's just keeping him busy. Oh, Zipek,
oh,
Zipek!
oh,
Config
oh,
missed
no!
all of his shots! Oh, no! This was their round, and now it's up for debate. Very much so. More damage somehow. Magisk, the Iron Man, lives on. And now it's Poison looking to do something, anything.
Oh!
That'll do nicely. Grabs 3 and grabs the round by the balls. Bubsky alone, no hope here. Trying to reposition. Poison calls the bluff. No one pushing. Rush does. A second fake. He'd need it now. Shadow has given him up. They know the hunt's on. Bubsky needs his clean tap, and he can't find it. Poison with 4 as he saves Complexity from utter destruction.
Oh, I'm sorry we caught that config. That is a rough way for us to do you right there, but it is just difficult. You know, this is what we talk about, right? Like the player not looking at you. It's so hard to track what kind of movement because you're expecting them to pivot. Like Zipex, look how many bullets he's had to react here. Oh, Jesus.
This was the save.
Yeah.
I mean, the only way they get out of that one is with a triple kill on construction, and Poison's the only man that could provide it.
So brawly right there.
Look at this, though. Astralis straight back in with a smoked eagle buy. If Complexity do not play this round to perfection, if there is a one disconnected component within this T-side, a weapon can be lost, and so can a round here. Astralis, they will hold onto their smokes for dear life. If Complexity do not force the issue here, nice nade, then those smokes could come back to haunt them.
I was surprised at how much damage Glaive was willing to take just to throw that, but it's paid off. He doesn't know that.
Full mid control given up by Astralis here.
Yeah, they're just trying to channel them right now, but Artside is the problem.
Smoked off. Glaive's going to get nothing from Library.
Are they going to walk behind it or go mid to B? Either way. Cutting horns right there.
Oh, they're just about to walk through that smoke.
They need to be so careful. This is very dangerous stuff from Complexity. This is the AK-47.
Yeah, and there's a 4-man Deagle stack here. 3 spotted out. More nade damage is delivered. This could get messy, but fortunately, Complexity. 3 in the feed. Magis, the only one left, and bullets should finish him off from the MAC-10. JKS provides. And a sigh of relief for everyone involved.
All right, well, that one worked on out very well for Complexity. All the attention drawn towards that arch side gave the SMGs a chance to close down the distance, find the frags, get the bomb down, and put the 7th on the board. So 10-7 will be an eco right now coming out from Astralis. And just a note on that Deagle buy round right there, dupreeh did what Device would traditionally do, which is not fully invest. Leave himself roughly $1,000 in the bank balance, which tells me when we get into that first rifle round, dupreeh might have himself an AWP. So we'll keep our eyes on that purchase, as this one should be a clean and easy affair. He's isolated by the flames. Rush will find the frag. More peppering of the USPs. JKS has taken down another pushy boy of Bubsky in the apartments, and yeah, this one is going exactly as you would expect. Execution after execution here. 2 more to find. Blame will go down. Rush.
Dead.
Push.
Dead.
Get tested.
Ooh, okay. Well, it's an AK. If JKS isn't too careful, he could get tapped away, but he's got poison to count on. Ooh, if there was a couple more bullets, he could have forced 2 of them down to the ground. Instead, Complexity 8, Astralis 10, and everyone's going to be relatively healthy in the economics. You were bang on. dupreeh plans to bring out the Zoom banger early into the defensive piece.
Well, how Astralis just approached that T side in terms of the conviction in some of the calls that they were making, I want to see what game plan they have in store here for their CT side, right? Are they going to be doing just the same old, you know, get that banana control, keep the 2 players over towards A like they would traditionally do, or are they going to mix things up? Right now, it's dupreeh, Bubsky, and Megas going over towards A. Glaive and Zipex locking down the B bomb site, and that flash forces out the shot of dupreeh. They now know that there's an AWP on the board. In the meantime, the T's are just doing the default spread config, and JKS on the defaults of Vertigo and now Inferno seem to be working together.
Potent partnership.
And they've got themselves apartments and boiler very easily. There's nobody to contest right now. Banana control being worked on at the same time. Blame and Rush thrust forward. Just a little bit shy there. And working with a lot of real estate at Complexity. This is a passive setup from Astralis. More than happy to receive as Glaive is in limbo in Speedway right now. They're setting up double nades. Is this towards CT or Coffins?
If it's Coffins, Glaive's on his way.
Russia's anti-flash. Blame watching the smoke. Poison there as well. And now retooling. Everybody heading back towards Banana. JKS Config have left their positions of Boiler and Halls.
Oh, dude, these nades are getting more and more value.
Yeah, look where Dupree is now.
If they have someone jiggle the line, or they're going to go nades. Oh, baby.
Either way,
Either way, it's a guaranteed frag. Now Dupree CT does pull the trigger onto JKS. The nades land. Coffins is open for business. The smoke will bloom. It's down to Zipex. Good damage. Finished off by the flames. He needs another. Can't provide. Blame down to half. And Dupree not got the weapon for the job. The rotate will have to come in. Bomb yet to be planted. CT re-smoked. Poison opts for the safe plan. Tough retake. Lots of resources to be pumped into this one if they go for it. 2 doubling up an emo. And not an incendiary in sight for the CTs. Dupree's got a pretty good shot here onto Poison. It's pretty safe to assume he's going to go down. Yep, clean one. Config trying to separate himself so that he doesn't bait Blame out. Will they check it? Will they check it? No, he gets the first, and now Dupree up to the task. He's got time. And Astralis all the way down to the 1v1. They will post an 11th.
There was no way they were losing that round there, especially after Bubsky swept all the way through Banana and they didn't take a fight from Triple, right? The guys coming through Coffins could call that entire side of the site completely clear. So they had to be doing the 2-man setup towards the back of B. That was so telegraphed right there because there were no other options for Complexity, and a great shot there to seal the deal. Now, Astralis with only 1 man standing, they do have some questions, and it'll be their second timeout, the extra 30 seconds for them to talk through the buy, because if you take a look at the right-hand side of your screen there, you can see Dupree, he's got the AWP, he's got about 4.1k, he can drop a gun and cross, but there will be a few members on Astralis who won't have everything they desire if they want to get the rifles out. Meanwhile, for Complexity, things are going swimmingly. They got the 5 AKs out, everybody has the utility they're looking for. Poison a little bit light on, but I don't think it'll be the end of the world. And as that timeout has transpired, this is where we get to see what has that conversation led to. Astralis purchasing in with the MP9 for Zipex. Needs that for the B bomb site defense. Famas for Glaive. Bubsky was able to buy on in. There'll be no util for him. And there'll be a gun, I believe, on the ground. Magix. So can Astralis defend? They need to start building a bit of a CT bank here. They lose this one. Complexity are well and truly back into map number 2. Standard volley of util, but no real presence in Banana being shown from Complexity. It's already been enough to force Astralis back into the site, and Dupree under pressure on Boiler and Halls as well. Knowing those steps there, AWPers do not love hanging around towards short for too long without a bit of support.
Quite the standoff here between Config and Magisk. Ooh, very audible drop-off. Config's going to be loving life, as is JKS. Flash forces the AWPer off the line. This is very good utility usage. Complexity are forcing, manipulating the CTs back into passive lines. Config brave. Caught by Magisk, another found as well. Glaive knocks another on their ass. Poison's gone, and it keeps getting better. Blame keeps it competitive, just the 2 of them now. JKS losing his life. Such destruction from the pit position. Magisk, 3. And he may even make it 4. Bubsky's going to steal it from him. Astralis posting their 12th, though, and they are looking great. You test Magisk, fine. You test Glaive, even better. So far, so good. Taking a look at the kill distribution as well. Everyone sharp on the individuals of Astralis. And this was Magisk's catch. Just falling beneath the 2 of them, playing around those pit angles and just catching Config, who had to try and find something.
Yeah, it's very difficult when they were kind of just looking in for those fights. I'm not quite sure what the execute was, but the big smile on his face right there, and for good reason. Complexity are down to just these pistols. Glocks for 2 of them, Deagles for a few, and a P250 there as well, as Bubsky even looking in for a fight there. After hearing the pistols, might think better of giving away a rifle, but well, the man of the moment in the last round, continuing the onslaught down Banana.
Oh, 1 into the wing. Poison's not going to be too happy with that, and a little dink out of the pistol from JKS. That's why you buy a helmet.
This one is set for 13 though, isn't it?
Yeah, look at their angles, dude. Like, anyone comes up that T ramp, you've got 2 absolutely atrocious angles to fight. Who's putting their head in the vice?
Didn't matter how they picked that situation. Unless they hit the first bullet and they were pre-aiming Xipex's spot, there was no way they were getting anything done. Understand the slower pace there from Complexity, hoping they could force out a few more nades, which they did do. I assume Glaive will hold on to this UMP. There's no real need to upgrade it right here, right now. But it's getting hot in the server.
Sweltering in the server.
We know winner of this, we'll say it again, into the playoffs. So a lot on the line here. If you lose, you have to drop into the lower bracket. It's not going to be easy in that lower bracket. Got Vitality down there. Got Furia down there.
Yeah, Vitality waiting for the loser of this one.
This looks like a set piece towards A right now. Nades already being lined up. They're quick.
Very quick. Straight towards short. dupreeh and Magisk are actually in the apartment balcony setup. This could hurt. This could really hurt. Nice distraction. Bubsky takes a quick trade. Oh, that's big from Config, though. They're not ready for dupreeh. Nearly a collateral. Can't pull the trigger onto Config. Double on the way in. JKS caught with a wild spray. That looks like a good nade. He didn't get it, did he? Just a little off the mark. No rebound. Config lives on. Glaive knocks another on his arse, and it's only Glaive.
Does he give this one a go? I can make an argument for it. I can also see why he wants to save. And it's going to be the latter. Yeah, look, 2-on-1 if you knew the HP of Config, maybe. Has he faked the steps? Is he trying to lure them into a false sense of security right here? It is a site plant. He does have a smoke. Okay, come on, Glaive.
Yes, this is what he was waiting for.
Yeah, just this lovely exit.
Thank you very much.
Important find as well, right? You want to keep that economy of the T's honest as well. Bomb goes off, AWP will be saved. Money not great for Complexity here, Alex. Not great at all. That AWP drop is going to be fantastic for Poison, but all in all, money now in question. And this is just a seesaw, it seems like, back and forth between these economic decisions for both the teams.
God, that kill on Config is actually, it's crazy the tiny margins that by which this game is determined. I mean, he's now forced to invest everything, every single penny into round 23. Just to stay as relevant as he was with the equipped AK Glaive took from him. All right, getting to the real business end of our second map here, so strap in. Bubsky wants info.
Is this another set piece from Complexity? There's a lot of conviction up second mid, and the bomb is there as well. Normally left at T stairs. It's kind of telling that maybe we get something quick again onto that site.
Yeah, early control of apps as well. JKS and Rush join him. 3 men. Walking straight towards this tight line from dupreeh. You don't get to see that one. Oh no! Didn't quite have the position right. And Bubsky's going to get swung on. JKS with some high impact there. The smokes are up, the frags are there, and just like that, Complexity spring into a 10th.
Yeah, you can really just see on the minimap when Complexity are looking like they're going to go for something a bit more direct. And these last 2 approaches have been phenomenal. They're making a game out of this one. They can definitely hear it now. If they're not hearing it at home now.
They can't hear it, Chad.
What do you mean? Are you sure?
Yeah, I think our audio guy's just good at his job, yeah.
God damn. Give him a pay rise, because we might need to...
It sounds like someone's using like a circular saw.
I will rip this thing off the wall.
Next door.
I will rip it off the wall.
We're just too fragile now.
We've been spoiled.
We've been pampered and spoiled to the point where we're getting triggered by a loud piece of technology.
It is very loud.
It is, and I am really warm. Do you remember there was a Pro League where I got really hot and couldn't speak?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, stopped hosting for like a year after it because I was that bad.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm at that same kind of level of heat where it's very hard to make sure I make sense.
Well, if you pass out, we do have Swedish Rush here who can take over the play-by-play for us. But the sound guy did just give us a great solution. He said, do you have a bat?
Ah, I
and
heard
it seemed
about
to have
these.
stopped, so I think the aircon heard him.
Yeah, you threatened it enough.
All right, let's focus back in on this one. 13-10. Looks like it will just be a conservative
the G2
round.
smoke. Am I allowed to call it the G2 smoke?
Just call it the deep mid smoke.
That works too. A deep mid smoke, thrown from spawn.
That we did see G2
that we
doing
did
a lot.
initially see G2 throw an awful lot.
Did make things a little bit more claustrophobic for those faster A plays, right? Complexity might have to reconsider if they see that being dished out a few more times. The boy of magic. Burnt on down in a big way, 30 points of health remaining. Glaive stoic as ever. And somehow... How?
Yeah, I don't really know.
How?
Don't forget, there's only 2 saved rifles here. Chad painted the picture. We know what's going on. Complexity need this one. This is how you can stay competitive. It's getting scary. Xipex's already another. Blame. Big delivery. Double kill. Magisk is down to just 10 HP. The rest are unarmored with deagles. That was the double kill they needed, they required. And Poison's taking the bomb for a walk. Might want to get back into the site before things fade. The second is redeployed, as is the plant. Well, this is incredibly stacked. Chances dwindle. Bubsky did just grab an AK. If Poison doesn't do a deep clear, it seems like he's...
Oh no!
Caught completely off guard.
It's going to unravel now. There's a kit on the bomb.
There is a kit on the bomb, and they know they're going to be back sight. Bubsky's confirmed. Banana's clear. Dupree's on the hunt. Magisk is so low. Nice catch. Blames one. Backs a turn. Bubsky now in the 1v1. Kit on site. He knows where JKS is, and he just concedes it. Accepts. He'd rather have an AWP. JKS not going to go down with the ship. I imagine he'll be able to get enough distance. And so, Complexity, blood, sweat, and tears poured into that. They'll get an 11th. Valiant attempt. Bubsky with a very nice angle. Recovers and catching Poison. Now puts an AWP into the CT investment. This was the double that really did stabilize the entire round. Yeah, great shooting.
Nice second shot. Oh, look at the shadow. Look how much Bubsky can see. It's crazy how much of an advantage he had in that exchange just there. And yeah, realistically, he probably could have given it a crack. You know, I like the conservative nature out of him here. He was openly criticized for being too aggressive by his in-game leader on a podcast not that long ago. So showing some restraint.
Yeah, it's the same way Glaive had a bit of a chance and just stuck around for more economical damage and the save.
Now this one right here is a very big round in the scheme of this game. The loss bonus, it's all in the favor of Astralis here. They lose this, they get 2,900, but on the CT side, we know it costs more to invest, right, in all the goodies that you require. Kit, Incendiary, they cost a bit more money on that side of things, as well as the rifles. Whereas for Complexity, they haven't been able to build a bank, and their loss bonus will be just down to 1,400. So I'm going to say a lot more stock in the need for this round for Complexity than Astralis.
Welcome back to Smoke Watch, where we witness one single smoke grenade remaining in the Astralis arsenal at the 50-second mark.
What color gray do you reckon that is if you had to pick it on the gradient scale?
On the gradient scale, I think this is Grey Scale or Grey Monday.
Okay, yeah, I'm with you.
Oh, Dupree pulls the trigger as he's flashed, and it enables a nice early advantage to be seized. And with 30 seconds left, Chad, they are going to have to make a decision. It looks like Apps Pop is the call. Smoke long side, Config and Poison are throwing the same nade.
There's three here to deal with this, Alex. This is going to get dirty.
You're right. 20 seconds as well. They're going to have to hurry. Full util on Poison. Get it dumped, son. Flashes the long side. Magisk readies for more destruction from his pit. Look at the flash. Look what it's done. 14 seconds. Bombs on short. Where are you, Poison? Here they come. Nice lineup. Config one. Nice from Bubsky. And that's the bomb loose. That's round winning.
No time.
No time. No hope. No health. That's the end of that. Just rotted by those smokes.
Now, I did the maths for you guys in that round. Look at the money that we're dealing with, right? Sure, there was a bit of residual cash for the likes of Config, Blame, Rush, and JKS to be sitting around that 3.5+ mark. But you can see for the likes of Poison, who only got 1,400 in the loss bonus in that round, that there is just not enough for these guys to buy. And just so late, I stalled out for so long, and it didn't even feel like Astralis were doing anything to force that. Just that kill of Dupree, lack of time left. And it all falls down as Complexity now stare down the barrel of potentially giving up round number 15 here with just a couple of pistols. Well, they've declared their intent in this round.
They certainly have. A B-Stream update for you. Looks like VP and Spirit are really duking it out. Spirit's T-side is a masterpiece on Inferno. Looks like VP are starting to tame that beast, though, forcing them down to the pistols, and looks like completely tying things up. If you want to keep track of that one and tune into the dulcet tones of Vince and Dust, do so over on CSGO B. You can just add a B to the URL you're currently watching. Easy peasy. Let's get into it. Complexity, full investment, Chad. Paint the picture.
They lose this, it's done. It's 1,900 as the loss bonus in the next round, and it's all over Red Rover. This is do or die for Complexity here if they want to get into the playoffs. Need to keep their hopes alive in this series.
Vitality for a spot.
And all on Config's AK. The only AK right now.
Yeah, he's going to have to do an awful lot with this. They've still got that 3-man setup. They're all leaning short side.
Oh, there's that smoke watch again. They just have to respect it. You cannot risk dumping the light utility you have right now just because you've seen one smoke hit that top of banana.
Zipex soft rotated off the back of that, which is actually really interesting. It leaves Glaive super vulnerable to what Complexity are currently pulling out.
He's got one more smoke here to deal with this in case he does feel threatened. And as we can see, all 5 members have now grouped on up in banana.
Oh,
they're gambling.
Why are they gambling?
Well, Glaive believes in the gamble meta. And it's the wrong call.
But this is such a dream.
This is such an important round. They're just going to have to save.
Oh my goodness, Complexity won't believe it.
I don't know if they even bother going for this retake. I know that sounds insane.
I mean, like, this was supposed to be the super hard fought, do or die, sink or swim. They're saving.
They're 100% saving. I know that Complexity, right? Hear me out. This sounds ridiculous, but I know that Complexity right now don't have a bank and they don't even have AKs. That's kind of the reason I think they should hunt, right? This is why right now, with your bloody P250, your MAC-10, your UMP, get in there because the loss bonus doesn't exist for Astralis right now. They don't have a bank either. By giving them these guns and just letting everybody save, Complexity are doing themselves a disservice. Astralis have the buffer of rounds.
Oh, gross. It's like some super high-level macro play in the sense of you're still gonna have a P250 and $50 next round.
Like, well, they're gonna get the win bonus. They'll be able to upgrade, right? The upgrades are gonna come on through. But the thing is, with what they have right now, you could do more harm to Astralis for the long term of this game, right? You could have done so much to the Astralis team right here,
gap,
right? And now the problem is, we can see Astralis have a full buy, right? All they have to invest into is nades for 2 players, right? That's all they have to invest into right here. And they didn't want to go for that because if they gave away any guns, they're not gonna have the money to go for a convincing round. So now you look at this, that's the only... Oh, the chicken didn't even die. The chicken survived. It's a true unicorn round.
Not a single death was seen.
Cluck free, chicken. Okay, well, they've upgraded, right? But Blame kept the Galil, and Rush kept the UMP.
Yeah, let's see how this one shapes up. An early damage favors the CT setup. Poison down to 48 off the back of that early nade. Now the chickens are dying, this time straight through the smoke. Hear that Galil unloading into the apartments. Looks like Blame's got a nade from there. What's he cooking up?
Could do an arch smoke, I suppose, from that side. There's a lot he could assist his team with if need be. Using it as a jungle gym right now, so...
It's a shame, I wanted to see something nerdy. Well, that's full denial of mid.
But when they did this before, this is why Astralis heavy rotated, right? Because mid control was lost and there was no noise on banana. Zipex, again, is rotated back over towards this A bomb site, so they're 4 strong. But the explode...
Re-smoke and pop?
I don't know. Maybe this is a double pump. Right now, it feels like Blame and Co are kind of playing with the rotations of Astralis. Because if Glaive's going to gamble that heavy, maybe he'll do it again. 44 seconds, up banana, lots of noise. Is this another fake? Or are they going in?
Oh, good catch. Glaive catching one through his own smoke. Now they cross, not checking the boost. Negligence punished, quick response. And JKS doubles up. That's the bomb plant. That's access to the site. A 3-on-3 does not favor Astralis. They've been very hesitant to retake this site.
And they have to save again. The money's just not there to go for this.
Complexity making it competitive here in the second half. They are posturing. They do want to have a little look. Clear corners. Bubsky goes down. Blame dinked. Good find. If they could just find Blame. If they could just find him, finish off the job. The pre-fire's there, 1 to find. Config's going to make it clear where he is. They both noted, look, Coffins. And he hits the first, but not the second. Astralis retake. Config can't believe it, mouth agape. Astralis take 15. I didn't think they were going.
I thought there was no chance in the world that they were looking for that, just considering all of the bits and bobs.
The ramifications.
And they've gone for it, and they've walked away with not only the round, but that AWP still, and enough money to make this work for another convincing buy. Surely this is Complexity done now.
I thought this was theirs, dude. Dupree posted up, catches one.
That swing, he's tried to trade, but he's just given up his life to the orb.
God, yeah, and Config could not believe they lost that round. Oh, haunting, haunting. And that's to secure a safe passage into the playoffs. This is for survival now for Complexity. Astralis are 1 round away from DreamHack Masters Spring. Next round of competition. A heart-wrenching loss. Zipex tested. That's a big find. Early disadvantage, and they're just running with it. Holding W, Glaive's blind, trying to tuck it to the site. They already swing, 3 of them with the bomb on the back. Magisk is desperately sprinting to provide some support. Only 1 from Glaive to report. And over the smoke, another find. Complexity bounced back perfectly.
Are they going to hunt this time round? Are they going to look for these guns at all? Bubsky's already gotten well and truly out of dodge. He's going to be in T-spawn before you know it. JKS wants to get his hands on a rifle. Screw this MAC-10, he says. But the back and forth nature of this, right? Astralis' loss bonus, again, 1,400, right? Dupree can drop a rifle. Bubsky can drop a FAMAS.
He'd love to kill a couple more.
Yeah, I think the thing is, at this point of the game, like Astralis, they have 2 more chances at this, right? You may as well... Oh, I don't even know if you may as well. I don't know. I don't know what they're going to do with their finances right here. There's no great decision. Like, all of the options, there's some form of a compromise. Like, if you get Dupree right now to drop an M4, you're going to have at least 3 big guns, right? If Bubsky drops a FAMAS, okay, now we're cooking. And then maybe Megas can buy into a UMP or a shotgun or something along those lines to anchor from pit or holes. That's what they need to be discussing right now, because they're going for it by the looks of things. I'm seeing guns picked up, dropped across. There's a FAMAS out. There's an M4 out. This is the all-in, right? It's 1,900 as the loss bonus next round. If Complexity win this round, Alex, it's 1,900 from Astralis, assuming no saves. They will have nothing for what could be round 30. This is a huge round. UMP. Okay, so they've made the buy work. The utility's good. There's kits in play. Complexity have everything they need to, and we're back underway. What is the response here?
It's time to find out, folks. So much at stake. Dupree wants to peek into mid just for the first fight. Thinks better of it. Good incendiary. Won't necessarily spread, and Dupree sticks around, catches the second mid player.
Oh, this is aggressive. This
Rush
is aggressive.
Gone. Magis caught under the smoke. JKS alert, and that was an equalizing frag that they needed. Dupree's hunting for more. Good grief, I don't think Poison's ready for this. Can he get away? No. That's the answer. Config and Blame looking good. The Danes ready their teeth. Another bite taken out of the defense. Bubsky's gone. Rotate in. Zipex spotted. They are going to have to cower. And this looks set for success now. There's none of those weapons are retrievable. You're not going to grab an AWP. You're stuck with the M4. You're stuck with the FAMAS.
You can't even scoop up any extra grenades. You can't even get yourself a defuse kit. Complexity have just absolutely taken it all away from Astralis here. And that 1,900 loss bonus I'm talking about, 1,900. That's all they're going to have. This really just looks like overtime now. Not even hunting. Complexity more than happy just to let them hold on to these rifles. Ever since that just gamble stack call, this has just been crazy scenes. Like, I really wonder what triggered that gamble stack call onto that A bomb site.
That is a question, isn't it?
Like, if it was just a pure, like, read, right? Yeah, fair enough. We make them. Sometimes they work, sometimes they don't. But that one right there, it's just cascaded.
You call it a gamble for a reason.
Yeah.
Absolutely. There is risk and there is reward. Well, this time, Complexity were gifted with a full unicorn round. They got the bomb down and immediately have brought it all the way back to the final round of regulation. Look at the juggling Astralis have had to undergo just to piece it together. It's a hodgepodge, sketchy blanket.
Still in spawn working it out.
Oh, yeah. Okay, well, Complexity, they can secure overtime here. The slate will be wiped clean and we'll go again.
This is not unwinnable for Astralis by any means, especially if one of these individuals step up with a multi-kill and a half.
And the pressure's on for Complexity. They know they have a distinct advantage here. And it's just for survival, not even victory.
So much space early in minute 25. They have top mid control. They have Ender Halls control. This is all just looking like an A finish. 3 players on B for Astralis.
This is for their 10th T round. They're matching Astralis' haul.
This one's done, surely. They're already clamping in on A. How are they meant to defend?
Only Dupree and Magisk. Now just Dupree, only an MP9. Hunted from every angle, and just like that, Complexity can kick back, relax, and plant that bomb. They can take all the time in the world to set it up. As smoke arrives, Blame's got one for the replacement. Bubsky loudly arriving in library and a pre-fired upon his first peek, and nade to perfectly secure his fate. It's only Glaive, it's only Zipex.
Unlosable.
Unlosable. Glaive's the first victim, and there we go. We're off to overtime. Complexity and Astralis, inseparable in regulation. back in business. Overtime. Complexity in pursuit of taking us to 3. A lot of people expecting to see this one as an intense affair, and it does seem Complexity have what it takes. A 10-5 half, and it's matched by Complexity's T side. Incredibly close at times. I'm Machine, I'm joined by Sponge. It doesn't look like... Are we not live? Yep, seeing a tech in chat, so everyone's going to go ahead and just start that one from the top. But it gives us a chance, Chad, to express what we've learned over the course of those 30 rounds of regulation.
Yeah, and I think here what we learned in probably, the last 5 or 6 was that the economy played a massive factor in how that game was either played out by decision-making of gamble stacks or just the firepower they had to defend or attack with. Now, things worked out pretty well for Complexity after we had that unicorn, that gamble call from Astralis come on through. They're able to get across the line. You had some individuals who were just basically splitting over sites. But I think one of the keys that we've noted with both T sides is when they're looking direct, as soon as they're in the site, the round is basically done. That is not going to be the case in overtime anymore. 16K, MR3, everybody has all the goodies they need. We should be getting this one back underway any second.
There we go.
Teams are looking ready and raring. We've given her the match medic, and here we go. So we've noted that Dupree has been doing the AWPing on the CT side. On the T side, Glaive did pick it up for 1 round. He was being a little bit cheeky, got himself a couple kills, and Poison's been wielding it on the other side of things.
In terms of Complexity's T side?
Yeah, look, it hasn't been that much fighting for Banana, has it? They haven't really been biffing in there too much. They did get away with that freebie execute. I think they're more than happy to kind of just wait out the Banana aggression and utility early, and then they're taking top mid, JKS and Config getting into Boiler and Halls very quickly. Let's see if that continues or if they want to go for something a little bit more jarring out of the gate. I think Complexity will just continue what they're doing because of the way that Astralis gambled in a few of their rounds. Okay, getting stuck into Banana this time, so Rush going to deal with the flames, the nades, and they're going to get on out of dodge. So only a little bit of damage done. Information still retained for Astralis and Dupree. Nice shot there onto Config.
Yeah, he knows there's an app's presence though. Often JKS and Config holding hands in the apartments, and so instead of Dupree, they throw a smoke, and he's already pulling up his socks and running to B.
Bubsky has a lot of nades here to remain the anchor, but look at this. Blame is just peeking. He needs to find an equalizer.
Oh, Glaive very ready for it. And Dupree peeking in, can pull the trigger onto Rush on the crossback. Nasty state of affairs now for Poison and JKS. They want to try and worm their way in towards the left stack site. It makes sense. JKS is up short. If he can find one, like if he takes Pit down, if Bubsky's head is popped, it gets awkward. Magisk, Molotov'd out. JKS is playing a sterling bit of Counter-Strike here. If they could just finish the job. Molly down to 8. Poison hits the crazy flick, and now the bomb is down. A 2v5 starting to shape up. Poison spotted on the crossback. Zipex ready and catches him. And now JKS, the trajectory of his nades is very indicative of where he is. He doesn't want to leave too much. There isn't a gap in his smoke, and that enables a spot onto Dupree. Wild spray, 16 bullets left. They double peek, and that's well played by Astralis. They get back into control and successfully will get that bomb defused. First round of OT goes to the Danes.
Yeah, a bit bouncy there, a bit hard to hit those kind of shots. But considering the way that one kicked off, just getting the bomb down and making it look competitive for Complexity is something. I don't think there's going to be too much worry about the economy situation, right? Especially on the T side. We won't be seeing any saves. We're in that scenario. But the B stream on your screen, looking good for VP.
Yeah, looks like they have managed to win out on this CIS brawl. It's always funky when they meet and clash. Their styles of Counter-Strike very similar. And funny to see that as they do interact. Looks like Virtus.pro have collected that one, and so Spirit are not going to be making it any further.
Yeah, that's a rough one right there for Spirit. Let's focus back in on this as Dupree continuing to look for kills with this AWP, this time starting towards middle.
Yeah, they're in apps already. Not careful.
This is one of their more direct approaches. Rush is here with the bomb. They've done this a few times throughout this T half.
Yeah, they really don't want them to have middle, do they? That's the second incendiary in the first 20 seconds, dropped in mid. Dupree's got a lot to do here. Baits the shot, Poison, jiggling. Hard shot for Dupree to hit. They're up mid. 4, make it 5, about to hit the A side. Magisk has some support. Bubsky with the first, he even catches a head from Graveyard. Big stuff, big contributions. Missed shots from one, but Poison's hit another. Now the advantage is theirs. Complexity have the site. This is an important duel for Glaive, and he's lost it. Config keeps control. Trading blows, hard shots for Zipex to hit. Doesn't have any utility to force these fights, and Poison going down, actually. That was AWP v AK. Blame steps out to save the day.
Almost a chance there for Zipex to go for a clutch. He takes Blame down. Config's low on HP, and then it's a very winnable one-on-one situation, even though we had no idea where Config had moved on to. Complexity get their first T round on overtime here, and the T-halves haven't been the issues for either team, both with 10-round hauls in regulation, both with questions for their CT side, and the question is, what's Glaive going to do with this AWP? He's invested in a secondary big green.
Glaive and Dupree on the double AWPs.
Of course.
Of course, as we all expected.
As we all expected. Oh, Dupree's just trying every angle in the book, right? He's either the long side, short side, in apartments, always looking for something here, trying to stay proactive. Big chunks of nade damage, even more. Look at that one, straight down the gob. Oh, Rush and Poison.
They opted for a half-wall boost here. Glaive's going to be set up for some serious success. Poison ready. Big opening frag provided by the Bulgarian. Magisk just hanging out right in the center.
This could be nuts.
Oh, he had some two. They line up for him. Enables a 3v3. Dupree completely alone on A site.
No way.
With an AWP, no less, and his scoping may have been heard. JKS is close. Incendiary forces him backwards, buys time, just a little bit of a rotate. Dupree again caught. Poison's on for an ace right now. Bubsky does catch him through the smoke. We'll shut that down before it gets a little awry. Bomb now scooped up, and we've got ourselves a 2v2, folks. It's a very intense round of Wingman. No reason not to go for it as a CT. Incendiary on Bubsky. Could force Blame out if he knew. Oh, the timing couldn't have been better. And they know where the last is coming from as well. Zipex the Elephant does find the first, but Burning can't afford to take that fight just yet. And JKS just maintains his breaths. Loud. Everything points towards JKS taking this one. Zipex walks straight on into the beast, and there it is, a 2-to-1 split. Kind of reminiscent of the entirety of our regulation.
Yeah, I don't know where this one's going to finish just yet. I thought Astralis in that first half were looking fantastic, right? You remember the contact plays, just walking up, absolutely taking heads off. And Poison here with a lot of impact. That's a huge multi-kill down mid, right? Yeah. He's done a lot there considering the circumstances, and this is not a very easy one-on-two for Zipex by any means. But here we go. We swap sides, we get back underway. What a complexity have to throw Astralis' way. The direct approaches of both teams have been what feels like the key to success, and Astralis are not starting their T-half with an aggressive maneuver. Bubsky's ahead of the smoke.
JKS just jumps straight into his jaws. Oh, in a second as well, off the back of the flash. Bubsky looking very sharp, and the bomb, likely the round, are just a matter of time. They're so late on the rotate. Astralis have already flooded into the B site. The bomb a little late, admittedly, but regardless, Bubsky has just walked into Banana and demanded a round. The only way this could slip away is if they start giving them fights for free. Poison is very quick. Molly, that's going to force Zipex out. He has to swing. He has to. He has to just go for it, and he does not go down. Tucked into pool now. Config's gone. 2 remain. Complexity throwing anything they can. See what sticks. A well-maintained spray for Bubsky puts a third into this round's fragging haul.
Oh,
Make it 4.
Great round.
Bubsky, take a bow. This is yours.
Okay, all tied up again. 17-17 as the scores on the doors read here. And I'm not quite sure what complexity... Look, I think that Astralis had better regulation than complexity, even though we ended up here. I think the economy played a big factor in some of the decision-making in the late stages, and that's all part and parcel of the game. But now that the rifles are out, I feel like this T-side from Astralis might just be enough to claw them across the line here. They need to keep this flawless if they want to get it done in one. JKS and Blame, met by Poison this time towards top Banana. Lots of smokes. Lots of nades.
Magisk is potentially going to catch a third there, yeah. He's done well to stay as healthy as he has.
Yeah, it's just a little licking down to 66.
Right, if they were to actually just blind commit to B. Poison is all alone on a massive island, a serious gamble, very reminiscent of what Astralis have gone for in the past. This is, of course, with the addition of Poison solo B.
Oh, they're falling away from this B bomb site, and there's a 4-man mid stack. This is the meat grinder top mid. This is where the trades will fall in the favor of Complexity.
Every day of the week. Oh, and Glaive meets so much.
They just have to go B. Surely he calls that.
Yeah, you'd think so. There's still a smoke there. They actually walked through it on the flash. That's perfect. He's now ahead of it. Poison wants to peek in. Utilities, bit of a risk, gonna miss shot. Magisk as well. He's missed twice, but through the pool push, it's JKS, and he delivers all 3. They can't get the spotless T-half unless Zipex can come up clutch. He's so blind, and it's not far off the mark. JKS takes initiative there. Poison was getting overwhelmed, and he takes it upon himself to find 3 on that push through the smoke. That's the most impact we've seen out of JKS, especially on the CT side. We'll see it again. Look at this, perfect flash. dupreeh just staring, admiring the brickwork. And that's one way to take the wind out of the sails of the Astralis T side. The Complexity have a chance to take us to 3 right here and right now. The next set of frags. 5 kills. Blue on brown. We're off to a 3rd. Astralis, a very strong regulation performance, as Chad has highlighted, but Complexity have shown resilience, a stubbornness, a refusal to quit. 5 frags away. dupreeh looking to secure OT2. Oh, barrel spotted. They know where Poison is. That's a huge amount of information. They know the AWP's A, Chad. They know the AWP's A. They're going B immediately upon the back of it, and dupreeh's getting frags that will sell it even further. Kept busy. Poison spotted and executed.
Huge
Good
shot.
grief. dupreeh is selling this fake with blood. He might even grab the AWP, might fancy his chances, might want some more. JKS has defended B. It's very fruity this round. Work it out right now.
They don't know where to go. Right, they're in limbo right now because of all this space that dupreeh has, and now
like
they're
a
going
pendulum.
back. They killed the player top banana that had the bomb, and now Complexity have rotated away. They've given up the bomb site that was heavily fortified.
And dupreeh's still set up for this. If he gets his smoke long side, that's brutal. Oh no. More damage. Rush brought down to 40. This reeks of a second overtime.
But they have to go for it, so there's still a chance in this one here. The util, they've got a molly for Pit. They've got a molly that they can lob on out towards the site. Couple of flashes to facilitate this, and Glaive all the way down mid. There's no way they hard clear this, surely.
Yeah, it's so deep. He's actually playing it from the underpass, and Blame's ready for it. Maybe there is a way. Time-sensitive mission. JKS from long, rush short, Blame. 3 avenues of approach for Complexity. This can work. dupreeh's had his hero moment, but he wants more. AWP shot connects. Rush is gone. Blame doing everything within his power. They need to be on the bomb. They need to be on the bomb right now. No time. No time at all. Zipex survival is all he had to do, and he does. Astralis versus Complexity needs another. Overtime 2, compulsory to separate them.
That shot from Blame was huge. Like, I can't believe he's hard cleared that. We're talking mini pit, deep down mid. The hard clear in that type of scenario. That shot was banging, and so were dupreeh's here.
Yeah,
this is round-winning double, man.
He's just so lost. His crosshairs up, it's down. He still finds the head in very quick succession, and Glaive throwing a nice shot in the chat to Blame. Couldn't quite believe he got checked. Well, we go again. Magic number 22. It's more for my benefit than yours.
All right, what twists and turns do we have next? Bubsky has been great on the AK-47 this map.
Down the gullet. Ouch.
And Poison, 50 points of health to operate with for the remainder of this round. The nade from JKS, it's going to soften Bubsky up as well, so getting a little bit of revenge for his comrade. More utility limped out top banana here. They've definitely got control if they want it, Astralis. Oh, and a bit of a barrel. I think it was spotted just there.
Oh, he's dead. Ooh. Poison. Lives on. And now a nade response. Damn, everyone's getting chipped away out here.
This is all just nade damage. There has not been a single bullet that has landed at anybody so far.
Well, there's a very fishy CT smoke, to be honest. That looks way deep.
More like Burley for the fish for that one right there.
Long smoked, and dupreeh. Is he doing his AWP lurk thing again?
Yeah, this is so strange. They're just letting him control top mid. He still has 3 players behind him, so They're just going to walk up.
Yeah. Blame's watching long smoke, though. If they grey screen themselves. Oh, okay. Flash from Rush. Blame's got a lot to do here. Needs to find heads. Can't find anything. Bubsky was too quick. Config, Rush, gonna need a delivery. Nice work from Rush, and now Config tapping at heads and deleting at least one. Magisk is gone. Up there is the rafters with Zipex. 8 seconds. You need to find Rush and find him now. There isn't a bomb. Doesn't have the time. Would rather find a frag. Nice work from dupreeh, just getting some glory more than anything else. Padding the stats, 28. And getting extra AWP frags on the list as well. But there we have it. First round of play. It was chaos. We saw all parts of the map. All over the shop. Complexity, the ones that keep their head above water.
I wonder if they go back to more of a direct approach. I've been saying it throughout this game, just when they've looked more direct, both teams on their T side, they've been able to convert because it's so explosive. It's not allowing teams to gamble. It's not allowing teams to soften you up with their utility. It's not allowing them to grab real estate and hedge their bets. Out the gates here, it looks like more of the same. Bubsky, Banana again, tasked. One of the hardest positions. So many nades to deal with.
Yeah, and at a world-class level to be still at a half wall after the barrage of 2 people's grenades.
He's finding the gap in that Molotov and he's punishing it. This is dupreeh looking for anything he can around these smokes. Just so odd to see an AWPer in apartments. I can't put it into enough words.
This isn't a permanent affix, right? This is just a product of the situation.
I think so.
Uh-oh, Poison baited out. It's rare to see Poison
He's
fall foul
open.
to the bait. dupreeh's gonna have a peek for the mid-rotate. Bang, and Flame is gone. dupreeh's dead though, right? Config's on the hunt, pre-fires him down. Now T stairs, that's a trade.
That's the bomb.
That is the bomb. Oh, good grief, it gets awkward as hell. Glaive does burn one nicely. They have to support him. Rush can ruin everything. Can play spoiler here. There we go. Okay, Glaive saves them. That was about to get really awkward for a second, but now the bomb and the round. As we keep trading blows.
Just back and forth.
Yeah, completely inseparable. I'm sure these guys are going to start getting a little bit frustrated.
All right, well, as we mentioned, JKS may as well have a little bit of a look in for this. Checking all the corners. Glaive from the side, 19-19.
It's like dupreeh is doing what he would have been doing with the AK. Yeah. Just straight up with the AWP. Easier gun, right? 1-shot kill instead of 3.
Yeah, because he cops the dink, right? Like he's definitely not getting that kill with an AK.
No.
Okay, well, this is, I don't know how long this is going to go on for. I don't know who's going to break serve first. Same buys, same guns, everything they need. And here we go again.
Well, you did say economy was a big determining factor in regulation. It's definitely not going to be a problem here in overtime. Glaive forced to smoke out the double molly. The carpet of flame no more. JKS is ahead of this. He's going to burn. He's flashed and burning. And that's a big loss of an early defensive component. Blame just on the edge of the smoke. Practically one-ways him. Bubsky's gone and we're straight back to an even keel.
Yeah, there are no rushes there with that flash assist, so they have time to capitalize on that, but it is going to dwindle quickly. dupreeh again, AWP in boiler, of course.
Of course.
And Rush is rotated back over, so it will just be Blame left on the B bomb site on his lonesome. But pressure on A and B simultaneously.
Yeah, they're just walking in. Well, that's B site. A 2-2 split of their resources. Chad, you're the expert, right?
But they just ran in. At this point, I don't know what to say.
Shoot, dupreeh, uncharacteristic miss, and the molly to stop the construction push is brilliant.
Wait, there's 3 players isolated Banana right now. This is not ideal.
Yeah.
They've just been smoked off.
And the bomb ticking fast. Flash is great. Config's through. Back is turned. He's gone, and they are too. Astralis ending the half 2-1. We've seen this before.
This is odd stuff, but I'm enjoying it. It's perplexing because I think that there's a lot of mind games going on here that we are not privy to right now. And I think that is probably playing into a lot of these scenarios.
Do you remember in regulation when Glaive walked up and just won that duel against Blame and they planted?
Yeah.
That was almost an identical setup. I don't know the reads. I don't understand exactly how well these two know each other, but there's something in the water here that is leading to this kind of gameplay.
Look at all the orgs that have just come out as well. This is the most we've seen purchased up by the CT side. 3 in total, just Glaive on that M4. dupreeh, just the absolute balls on this guy. He is playing with fire in so many situations.
Yeah, but you call it fire, I like to call it flare.
Yeah, all right. Either way, it's getting hot. Bomb's just been scooped up now. Another banana smoke. Poison looking for a kill top mid and just lining this up.
Well, that's the mid-control util. Talking about a boost?
They need to be so careful. Config can look up
Will you see anything? Oh, okay. Loudly dismount.
But they're not hanging around for mid control. At least they have top banana off of Glaive's little spots here. Flash, that gives it away.
Yep, that's enough for him. Confirms that there is presence, and if they get that half wall smoke, that's going to buy at least 20 seconds.
Oh, they're hanging around. They want to fight this. They do not want to give this up at all. This is not a defensive smoke.
30 seconds. They are corralling them into the three-man stack. Will we see a stubborn complexity here? They've got a molly. Doesn't matter. Zipex has already caught one in the off angle.
They're going back A. They have to go A now. 25 seconds.
There's still a three-man stack here. Util will confirm their suspicions. Magisk readies for war. Needs it clean, does find it. Molly will nullify some of his options, turns the flash, will survive, tucked in tight, 14 seconds. Where is that bomb plant gonna come from? Bubsky's still tucked in on site. Here it comes, and it's a massacre. All too easy as Astralis extend their lead and get within touching distance of the 2-0. Complexity are up against it.
And once again, it was the lack of direct approach. It was the late round. It was the default. It was the pendulum, the back and forth between the bomb sites, getting denied by the fantastic utility usage of Astralis. And then Bubsky, look at this. You know they're flustered. The AUG held down, 3 simple frags. And he continues to get work done. 30 kills for Bubsky here, 31 for Glaive.
That's got to be feeling good for him.
The whole team performance right now. Nobody from Astralis is slouching.
Here they come, trying something different, trying to throw a curveball into the pace, and my goodness, Zipex, he's going to go third.
Get him out, they're
Dunked
done.
him. They're out. Just like that, Astralis snatch it. Triple kill out of Zipex, and there you have it. Astralis 2-0, they're into the playoffs of DreamHack Masters. Glaive versus Blame, the whole story, it's put to bed for tonight. Just another day in the office for dupreeh the AWPer. We'll be back to break it down at the desk. And that's Complexity versus Vitality in the lowers.
Angels will always threw something away. Could I be desperate, crazy, or is it that they never see things my way? Around the world keeps turning, waking up day after day, hoping to change my story, or maybe see things in a different way. Maybe if I took a chance and got out of my way, a different
Welcome back to DreamHack Masters Spring, and you wouldn't be blamed if you thought that was a 2-1 series, because things got intense on Inferno, far more than we expected after a blistering first half from Astralis. In fact, things felt maybe a little bit personal, Yanko.
I mean, you say intense, Frankie. I say things just got straight up weird at some point. Seeing Astralis blind stack a site with 5 players, I've never seen that from them, or I don't remember seeing it from any team in a full gun round, really. You know, Movistar Riders did it. I remember last year playing against them in like force buys. They would anti-stretch you and just do something like that. But that was just crazy to see, you know, simply because there's not that much risk in leaving one guy to play retake, right? And if you can't defend A-bomb sets with 4 guys, like, come on.
Well, I was looking at the radar in the round before that, and Astralis were literally, there was always one CT just constantly rotating through CT and Speedway. It seemed like they couldn't really decide what to do. They settled on 3 on A, and it paid off for them. And then the next round, they decided the 2 guys on B were lonely and rotated over, you say, and they literally gifted that force by round 2 complexity. But it seemed to be a technique that kind of the rotating and the ants and the pants and kind of seeing what happened, that kind of worked more on their T side, Blair, because that was a very different style of offense from Astralis.
Yeah, if you talk about that round 26, which Janko mentioned, where it didn't seem to make any sense, the T-side calling was fantastic, right? We saw a few rounds where they just completely outcalled contact plays coming out. They were conditioning complexity to have an early B stack early on, and they were abusing the A-bombs had multiple times. Even in OT, there was one round which I was confused about, where Glaive called a contact play at A and B simultaneously, and somehow they still managed to get the bomb sites and get the kills on both the bomb sites, in fact. So great calling coming out from Glaive overall on the T side. CD side, some question marks here and there, but in the end they still get the win.
Well, hold that thought, please, Blair, because we've got a winner on the line, and it is Dupree. Oh, hello.
Well, oh, hi.
Oh, hi. Thank you so much for joining us. Now, I know you had a chat to Scrawny earlier, but I really want to know, especially after you've now played a full best-of-3 series without Device, but now with Bubsky on the team. Do you think Device's departure has motivated the team in an unexpected way? Because all of you guys are stepping up individually.
I think what maybe motivates us the most in terms of obviously motivation is just to prove people wrong and to prove that we can also play good without Device. Not saying that Device was the issue or anything like that, but obviously shaking up things just create something within a team, especially a team like us that's been together for so long. Like you dwell into bad habits and you dwell into not maybe realizing what could be the issue, and just getting this new feeling of just just getting this motivation feel is just really good for us. So far so good. It's been really a pleasure to play.
Yeah, and looking at, you know, the Inferno and that T side, for example, you guys had a great T side. It didn't feel at times as structured as maybe we're used to seeing from you guys. More just, you know, a bit of a aggressive style individually, finding openings and just running with it. Is that something that's a cause of not too much time to practice with these 5 players, or just a switch in style, matchup specific, or what was the reason?
I think it's definitely a mixture of both, because we haven't had the time to fully do anything. And I remember during Vertigo, Bubsky was like, I don't know any nades on A side. It's like, it doesn't matter, we just peek. I mean, sometimes that's just how it is, you know. But obviously we haven't had much time to prepare and make everything work, because obviously I've also been given all the Device roles and all of his smokes and all of his setups and everything. So there's just been so many things that we've had to learn. But then at the same time, we also start to look at the other teams. Like, we're trying to see what are the other teams doing correct and how are they approaching the game right now, because for so long we have been the team to set the meta, and I think we have probably struggled to figure out how to approach this online era and how everything is how the game is played right now. So I think we're just trying to find our groove and just figure out what works the best for us, and see also to copy a little bit of what other teams are doing.